Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. My people, talk to me. They can't hear me. Ling said, not hearing. Okay, all right, fine. You can't hear me. Good. All right, welcome, everyone. All right, just I'll set up the mega. Hey, you know what? Because it's a Wednesday night program, we get a chance really kind of like talk to the people. You know, Saturday is just hectic, but Wednesday hectic too, you know, but it's a more a manageable piece, you know, where you can actually uh, say hello and greet people. Saturday, as you know, it's just a lot of stuff after 10, 12 topics, and we have to try and rush through them. But we don't rush because whatever we don't finish, we carry over to the following week. All right. I'm gonna big up Elaine, first in the class at the front row seat. Big up yourself, Elaine. Billy Witter, yeah, J Master Songwriter, Miss B, stay so, Carla Evans, Merle, Tagwan, Douglas, yeah. Who else in the place? Dorothy McCoy. Yes, good night. Patel Cruikshank. Yes. Beverly. Wonderful evening to you as well. Remember, Janina, Norman Montague, Laps Coach himself, people. Yes, me in the place. Norman, aka Laps Coach, aka Natty Norman. Who else? Oh, Mr. Jeffrey Tavares. Yes, I'm here, Mr. Jeffrey Tavares. Yeah, me take my vitamin to them, man. I'm good to go. SSL, stay so. Um, Megawatt, yeah, man. From Megawatt, there we know our place in Brooklyn. Nice. East Flatbush, East New York, Crown Heights, Brownsville, and New Lots. Yes, sir. Everything nice from Mega there. Oh, Mega, you see me, we're a different hat though. Yeah, me take it hard, but yeah, as the game go, you know, because the Titan, you know, very dependable, very reliable, and him just had a bad game. But next year, you know. Links, OG, big up yourself. What else we have here? Uh, Carnet Sterling. Don. Yes, Don. John Scott. Yes, Mr. Nehemiah. Come on. Catherine De Vumvavi. Yeah. All right, folks, look. Tonight is gonna be a very special. Every show is special enough, but tonight is gonna be a very special show. Cause we have Dr. Ben in the house again. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, him have Michael, Chris, and Shamblin, or at least some of those individuals will be here with him. And you know, last week when I asked for what kind of Women's Wednesday, Women's Wednesday. Someone said, well, I don't want to hear about, I don't want to hear Dr. Ben talk about women's concerns and issues because far too often I talk about testosterone and all. It's just man. So the ladies then get, you know, upset, but them say, watch here, you know, we need to hear about what going on with we too, and rightly so. So we decided that today we're going to dedicate this program to women's health, women's issues, women's concerns. So I wanted all of the ladies them just telling a girlfriend, telling a mother, and a sister, and a cousin, and a friend, and a neighbor, tell everybody to come on. I say from Uno come as women, you know who will come? Man, them will come. Man, them will load up the thing. So I saw the thing set. Who else is here? Queen Breezy. Marva dies. Good night, good night, good night. All right, before we bring on Dr. Ben, well, some little things to talk about. One big up Mystic Sensation. Wonderful program last night. One big up Jeffrey Tavares. Outstanding program on Monday night. And we hope to follow in that vein. So we hope to have a wonderful and an outstanding program tonight. Now, couple of things. Last week, for the last 3 weeks, we've been working with a gentleman who claims to be Jamaica's only registered legal DJ. We've been working with him to play some music, and it looks like it's going to happen this Saturday. So here's how it's going to take place. We're going to shorten the Saturday program by 1 hour. So we're going to finish at 7 and we roll right into the musical extravaganza with none other than Mr. Hugh Wildman, big time attorney in Jamaica. Claims him no music. I was all right, fine, I could play. And I don't know what he's singing, but him just hell bent and clashing with me. I mean, I said to him, Brethren, we don't need no clash. We just want to play some music so the people can get in a light mood, because on Saturday, the heavy duty stuff. And we just want to get people, just take them brain off all of the nonsense we're going on in Jamaica. Just have a moment of jollification, just nice up themselves. But him said no, I come for clash. So we'll see how that goes, because we're not no clash mode. We're not that kind of person there. We just play music because we love music. So again, remember people, this Saturday, right after Reason with Rattigan, we will have the musical extravaganza, and we're going from 7 until midnight. Now, if you want me to come on and if you want me to continue playing, because my show starts at midnight to 2, your wish is my command. So if you tell me, say, yeah, after whatever I have with Mr. Wildman, you have to play your segment from 12 to 2. I will do that. If you say, well, if you feel sorry for me and say, well, I look too tired, Dr. Ben now give me the right kind of vitamin, and so, there are some deficiencies there. And I say, boy, go and go sleep, then fine, I'll do that, I'll comply. But whatever I want, we'll do it. All right. Now, that's one issue. Second issue is there are some powerful voices in Jamaica, very powerful voices. And those voices belong to women. We've had 3 of them on our show. We've had Jeanette Calder. We've had Rosalia Hamilton. Well, we have 2 of them on our show. There's a third one. She's coming this week, Saturday. You can't miss it. You simply cannot miss this program. We're going to talk about the anti-bribery statute that the government does not want to implement. They've been dragging their feet. They promised it, but they're dragging their feet. And there's a deep suspicion that the reason why we have feet dragging, or foot dragging, whatever the correct terminology is, on this one is because some of those people are involved. I don't know. I'm just saying that people have expressed that sentiment, that yes, it's because some of those people in Parliament, they're involved, and so they have no interest in passing this law because it's going to affect them and the bottom line. So this lady is coming to talk about that. She's also coming to talk about the Constitution. And I say it because, the way I say it is because we're going to reinforce this issue of Constitution and reformation of the Constitution. We're going to reinforce that. We're going to just keep hammering it, you know, because it deserves to be hammered. It's a serious issue, and most of us, we don't know what's at stake. Some of us don't even care, and that's not a good thing. That cannot be good. I'm here looking for somebody. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I'm running through a whole bunch of stuff about the Constitution here. We won't talk about that tonight. But I don't see. There's somebody here I'm looking for. Hopefully I'll come across. I'll come up. Wait. Hopefully I'll come across the person I'm looking for right now. Ah! So now. So on. That's one. Hold on. There's another person I'm looking for. Okay. All right. Now, you see, people, we have this tendency to just let things do the 9-day wonder around issues in Jamaica. Something happens and, you know, gets coverage for about 9 days, and then it's overtaken by another issue, and then we forget about it. But we don't forget about things around here. We cannot forget about things around here, because that is just a recipe for, it's counterproductive to what we're doing, right? And so, just hold on 1 second. I'm trying to bring something to the stage here. Oh, wait there. Okay. Kevin, are there with me now? Oh, by the way, we have a big up producer, Opal now. She had a fantastic job. You know what I'm saying? All right. See there now. See why we can't forget the things there, man? Because we have this criminal named Leslie Campbell, former junior minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, former MP. See me? Convicted criminal. He's now facing sentencing. I think it's in March. But we have to keep keep the spotlight on this, because what we don't want is something like this to just disappear and them just sweep it under the rug and we don't hear anything. I'm not casting any aspersions on the judiciary. All I'm saying is that we as a people need to let the powers that be, judges, let them know that we're here and we're watching what they're doing, and we expect the true administration of justice. That's what we expect. We expect equality under the law. If a poor person who can't pay a fine get convicted like this gentleman, a prison them gone. He can pay the fine. The fine is only $500,000, and he's been found guilty of breaches of the Integrity Commission Act, serious act. And again, we're going to keep saying it until he's sentenced. This man must go to prison. He's facing 6 months. The judge have to give him some prison time. I can't give him 1 week either. Can't give him 3 months. Dear friend, I think Kevin Stew said, no, and forget the maximum 6 months in forgetting a prison, hard labor. Here's another one. Dalrymple Philibert, she has been charged 8 counts, violation of 2 statutes, and they filed what we would call a motion to dismiss. The judge rejected it, so now she has a trial date. I think her trial date is in March. Put up her face there. Former Speaker of the House, former MP, and current MP. She resigned from the House in disgrace. She had to table a bill that accused her of violating 2 statutes, 8 counts, And so she did the honorable thing. She resigned from the speakership, and she resigned from the parliament. Lo and behold, she's back. Our world-class prime minister saw it fit to say the people want her back, and therefore she ran in the by-election, won, and she's back in parliament. Then people have no shame, no shame, and no concern for the rule of law. She should have just go find a hole and just bury herself in it and just forget about, just move on with her life. That's what she should have done. Just move on with her life. She's an attorney. Not quite sure how competent she is, but I'm sure she could have found a way to make a living. Now she's back and make the big salary and doing what we don't know, and she's facing a trial. And people, I'm encouraging all of you, go and read the Integrity Commission's report on the 8 violations that they recommended prosecution for this lady. Go and read the report. If you try to read it, you can understand it. Let me know and me walk you through it again, because we'll go through it already. But the evidence very strong. But that's all we'll say, because it's up to a jury of her peers, or I don't know if it's a bench trial or a jury trial, but it's a trial. And at some point, we're going to get a verdict. So we will see. So let me move that lady there. She's not a criminal. She's an accused. But this man, a criminal. This man is a criminal. Just remember that. Miss Dalrymple has been accused, and she's entitled to her day in court. He got his day in court. Found guilty. Straight prison. Straight prison. All right. Now, this Saturday, we're not for tuning in, you know. We're not for tuning in. Not only for the lady who's coming on to talk about the anti-bribery statute and the Constitution. We also have a gentleman who, his group, they've written a constitution for Jamaica. And we're going to talk about that as well. But on Saturday, I am going to show you, all of you, how you can rip off the Jamaican government. You know, sometimes you do a story, and it's like you just skim the surface. People understand it, but there's width, but there's no depth. So you talk about it up here, and people get a sense of it, but we don't go down, we don't dig deep. Because when you dig deep, the story take on, it has a more fuller meaning. And that is what happened with this, one of the stories I did not too long ago. Just today, I was reading a report. And, you know, we don't read in Jamaica like we used to. We still read, but we don't read as much. And we don't read the right things. We get our information off of the internet, or, you know, we're more into entertainment than education. But just today, while educating myself, I came across a scheme. And I'm going to show how it works. And I'm going to show how to do it. So we can rip off the government of Jamaica. And this rip off was over 100 million. But you know the problem? The problem is this. Even though I'm going to show you how to do it, you can't do it. You cannot do it. You know why? Because you're not in the circle. Because it's a scheme that you can't do by yourself. You need some confederates, and you need some confederates in high places. So that's why you say when the Auditor General come out with that report, they say all this money missing, stolen, unaccounted for, chopped. You know, use the term money gone. Those funds end up in whatever category. You want to put them because people of influence, decision makers, high-ranking people, they're involved. And that's why some of these things can happen. And that's why these things will never happen to you. Most of you. Because you're not in that clique. You're not in that clique. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that if you're in that clique, here's how you can make some money off of Jamaica. And guess what happened? You don't have to worry because you're not going to prison. And you're not paying back the money. Never shown up. Never shown. I read it today and it was mind-blowing. I just couldn't believe. And guess what? People knew that this thing was going on and people participated in it. And nothing happened to them people. Them get where scotch-free. And the money gone. So our Dana Morris Dixon, whatever her name is, I'll come out and say, oh, the money is not missing. When I do the story Saturday, I want you to tell me. And I'm going to do one every week, and I want you to answer me and tell me where is the money. I want you to tell me the money. Yes, Mark Peart, them are chop like it a water style, but we are catch them. And when we show this, and this chopping here, you know, this chopping when we are over 100 million, you know, it happened in daylight. This wasn't something what them do in a nighttime or, you know, behind a fence or anything like that. This money was chopped in sunlight. Everybody saw what was going on. Well, poor people didn't see what was going on. Poor people never see what, because poor people too busy to try to eke out a living to feed them family and all that. Them not see what was going on. Yes. So we're going to talk about that. And we have another story. The promises, the manifestos, the party conferences, press conferences, 100 days. We're going to talk about that. And my favorite minister. I don't know, right? It's not Ed Bartlett. Let me just make it clear. It's not Minister Bartlett. It's not Minister Bartlett. Yes, indeed. My favorite minister. We'll talk about her this Saturday. We ease off her for a while enough, but we'll get back on the saddle. We're going to deal with her. And we have a show. First, we're going to show how the government chop money. We're going to reveal that. But we also going to show you how them promise. And them don't even try. Them just deliberately don't fulfill the promise. Deliberately. And we know them do it to the people in Jamaica day in, day out. But I will show you what them do to the diaspora. The people who them come to and beg money, right? To support them. We will show you the promises them make when them come here and them and look for money. We'll show you one promise, very big promise. When them come and them don't look money and them make the promise. And now it's time for them to fulfill the promise. I want to show you exactly what they've done. Exactly what they've done. So we have a lot of things to talk about this Saturday. Plus, we're going to play some nice music. By the way, Mr. Wildman said that he's what you would call an R&B specialist. So, Sam just want to play R&B. So for all of you ladies, this is your week, you know. We have ladies' night tonight, and we're going to have ladies' night Saturday because we bring on another lady to come talk up the things, and then we're going to play music for the ladies. So, and all of you who have not heard, you can't watch it, you have to listen to it. Relax with the Rebel at midnight. Tune in because now you will see where the voice they come from. That's all me I say. All right, without further ado, We have guests here, you know. Well, I don't guests. Them have family. That time, you know, why not just bring on himself? Because he might wait for we bring him on. Him. See me, man. Where I say, Papa?
Hey, blessing. Good to be here, Ratty. Good to be here. And good to see Ubuntu and Megawatt Volt and everybody in the house.
Them not left we out, you know that. Them not left we up, man, because we have to speak truth to power and we have to deliver. We have to deliver the message of not only health, but we have to deliver messages of wealth, you know, how you can acquire wealth by stopping the people from chopping. Because when them stop chop, the money will come to, you know.
Available.
Exactly. But hey, Doc, not tell us, I stumbled across something today, you know, I couldn't believe it. How simple this chopping exercise was. And the man them chop over 100 million. And then let me see who I go to prison. I mean, I do all of the research and up to now, nobody, and this happened this happened 2021, you know. Up to now, we were big talk back then. Oh, we're gonna investigate. And nobody gone to prison up to now. The story just dead. Raps.
And that's the thing. That's the thing in Jamaica. So like if you go to the bank to open an account or to transfer some funds, the amount of files you have to documents you have to sign, you wonder how it is that money goes missing and nobody is held accountable, because you have to give so much. Why is it that, you know, nobody goes to prison, or we don't at least see anybody you know, taking responsibility? I don't understand, you know. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah, one big up everybody in the chat, you know, Mr. My brethren, Neville Eddie Shackleford used to live in front of me at Waterhouse on Pennell Road. See me in the chat, bring up yourself, Eddie, hope you feel better. And I'm Mega say that my favorite minister, I'm shopping for. I think Mega have a picture. You know. I'm not sure. Somebody take a picture of Mega at Shop and Macy's, you know, with my favorite minister. What go on, Mega? What's up with that? So,
who is your favorite minister?
My favorite Minister Kamina Johnson Smith, man. That's my favorite minister.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We are gonna deal with our case this Saturday, you know. And by the way, if she watch, you know, Minister, me know you think I forget you. And you probably have said good riddance. But you never get rid of me, you know. Because guess what? I mean, I tell you, 2:30, I went. 2:30 this morning, we file a complaint against you. 2:30. The people who get the complaint, make them look on them and the time and the date stamp. 2:30, we file it. Do some research and come up with some information. And I said, no, man, you have to file this. So, Minister Kamina Johnson Smith, another thing filed this morning, 2:30. And I get some more information, and you never go. We don't stop file. We'll just keep filing. Oh, and Dr. Ben, me have to say this. You know, we are trying our best to keep government accountable. And I know that some people are disheartened because they don't see people going to prison and they see money missing and they see the 90-day wonder and all of this stuff. But please, don't provide negative stimuli to the people. Give the people them hope, let them know that we have fight, and even though it's an uphill battle, we have fight to put people in our prison. And I hope to see some of these people go to prison. This year, I hope to see some of them go to prison. This 1 year, for sure, would I like to see him go to prison. This 1 year. Former State Minister Leslie Campbell, convicted criminal. Yeah, I would like to see him go do some time. So, Doc, we have there now.
Yeah, I have a friend that I wanted to introduce to you. All right, this is Sean.
Sean, what I say?
This is Nicola. And
Nicola.
Yeah, this is somebody I've been telling you about for a very long time.
Yes, sir. Good night.
And we have Chris.
Chris, pick up yourself.
Yeah, Nicola is somebody that I've been telling you about for some time. I'm sure there's a lot of persons on the call who is gonna who will recognize her. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for
Well,
having me on.
well, Nicole, welcome to Coverage with Rattigan. And even though my name, the funny thing, it's not my program, it's a people's program. It's Dr. Ben's program, you know. Dr. Ben, him have the keys, him just come on with him and feel like no problem at all. And anybody that Dr. Ben brings on are my family member. We not ask no question. From Dr. Ben say, I'm bringing the first now. We say, welcome, most welcome.
Right.
So we're happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
Well,
it's family. It's family.
Yes, right. Well, Nicola is based. Have you heard about Source Farm, Rattigan?
Source Farm?
Mm-hmm.
No.
All right. You want to tell us what Source Farm is, Nicola?
Well, yes, Source Farm is a intentional community, and we're located in St. Thomas. We've been around for about 17 years. And we have 63 acres that we live on. We live, work, and play. It's a Jamaican kind of project. Started in Philadelphia, returned home, and we have, we teach about organic farming and permaculture. We started a farmers market with organic food, and now we have a research station. We have another 370 acre lands that we're putting into research and conservation. And we've been training up people all across the island and other people coming in from different parts of the world about how to kind of live more sustainably. And we've just been doing the work. Currently have a project where we're going around the island showing about soil fertility, how to stop poisoning the place and poisoning up ourselves. And so we've been doing this. We do natural building. We do adobe houses. We do earth bag house, all kinds of different appropriate technologies. If you want to come home and you're trying to figure out how to do it, how to live more sustainably on the land, that's what we do. So we've been living it, breathing it, working it, doing it.
Nicola, let me ask a question, please. You mentioned the environment and you mentioned agriculture. Two areas in which we believe the government is failing the people of Jamaica.
Oh my God.
The agriculture, they've allowed their friends and compadres to bring in import substandard produce for our people, driving the poor farmers out of business. And then don't talk about the environment. We have all kinds of environmental problems, even though our prime minister is supposed to be the poster child for environment in the Caribbean. And can you talk to us about that? Because you're doing it on a private level. Have you received any support from the government, any encouragement, any financial support, any moral support, any land? What have you received from the government?
Well, we're really in a very sad state of affairs right now, to be very honest. And as a matter of fact, today, the last couple of days, I've been on the road trying to find organic farming sites because I'll go and tell you the story. We have our group, Jamaica Organic Agriculture Movement, and we had a farming as a business conference a couple of years ago. And, the group invited the minister. The minister offered $50 million in organic fertilizer. And we said we bond that because, to be honest.
One second, Nicola. When was this?
This was about 3 years ago.
Have you heard about Nicola? Have you heard about the Moroccan fertilizer?
To be honest, I don't know the depths of it because to be honest, I stay out of. I just farm in a really business in them business. But I heard there was something about that. But they offered some fertilizer, supposed to be organic fertilizer to us, and we said no, we wouldn't accept it. First of all, if they're going to offer us something, we would want to have a conversation with somebody before you offer them something. And they offered, and we said, we're not even paying them no mind. But they came back to us again and said, because we're an organic movement, we kind of have to sanction if them saying certain organic things. They checked in with us and we said, we don't want any of that. Because if you're farming and you can't just put fertilizer on anything because you don't know what the soil needs. You have to do a soil test, all that stuff. So we back them up with some science. And then they asked me, well, what would you do? What we would do is teach these strategies because if no plane and no ship no come to Jamaica and we're not bringing any imports in, what would you do? So I named out about 11 different strategies and said that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And so because them kind of didn't have anything else to back it up with, we were allowed to kind of, through Jome, have this project. So today and the last couple of days, I've been on the road trying to find organic farms. We did the project in the eastern part, and now we're working in towards the west. And yesterday, to be honest, I was coming home depressed because I was all through St. Elizabeth, which is supposed to be our bread basket, and it's pure poison. I could not find officially an organic, somebody even working natural or organic. And it goes back to how our system is set up, where it is just the input suppliers working with the extension to just only teach people a certain thing. So if you come to Jamaica and say you want to do organic farming, they're going to tell you, say, it can't work, no, it can't work, no, it's not possible, all this stuff. And we have a lot of people who have returned home, them have them lands, and they've been exposed to organic food. You them go to Trader Joe's, them go to Whole Foods, them go to even Walmart, and they're seeing it. And I've been back, because I had a restaurant in Philadelphia, and I come back because of health concerns and that kind of stuff. So I say I'm going to start growing my own food. And we figured that Jamaica would be a place to do it. And only below on the whole damn place spray up. So now, not only I have to come home thinking I could get food, I have to come home and literally train up farmers, build a whole entire system on so that I literally, myself and my family could actually have some clean food. And because of that, we have a farmers market in Hope Gardens, and we train up farmers and all that stuff. And yesterday, I mean, I'm serious, I was depressed. And I went to end up going to Clarendon, and one lady who's another returning resident to have a place. And I'm like, okay, for Clarendon, this would be the demonstration site. And today again, all over Manchester, trying to find a place where people have some kind of conscience and some kind of consciousness to say, understand, so that when you spray these things with all of these fungicides, pesticide, all the sides, it's like suicide. And there's nothing available. And we have worked so hard with all the different agencies to try to bring the technology. We even had a project, USAID project, which I headed, to bring anybody that was in organic farming in the US came through. 70 different volunteers coming to show us how to do it. And, at every point there was a blockage, and none of the schools that want to take the information, case that should be doing this and teaching the next generation of farmers. I keep saying, even from a business perspective, we're stupid, because we're leaving money on the table. They keep asking us from the diaspora, they want peppers clean, organic, or they want yam, anything that we normally eat in the US that's Jamaican. We should be able to get in it some kind of organic. And we cannot say that in Jamaica we export one thing that is organically certified or just even natural. Everything's pure. So, and then we wonder why everybody's sick. And so Dr. Ben, of course, gets all the patients, the farmers, so much levels of cancer are going. Or you tell them that things that are, I'm getting upset. We had a lady that wanted to come into the farmers market, just to give you an example, and she's doing house plants. And she figured our house plants or orchids should come in, and we have very strict policies about what comes into our farmers market, because we go and we verify and we check out the farmers, and we check and say we do residue testing and all that stuff. And when I told her to give me the list of things that she's spraying on her thing, on these house plants, there were 9 different things she was using. Only 2 of them could be said to be used in organic, and the rest of them, or 7 of them, are things that were banned in the US, but we've seen them in Jamaica. And she's in a greenhouse production setting with all her workers being sprayed with things that literally them ban and also kill bees, kill this, kill that. And there's no little conscience about it. And this is what we constantly are eating. And I can't understand how come we can't. There's so many, I just come back from Taiwan from a conference and talking to some people out of India. They have 1,000 organic farms in just one section. 1,000 people, different individual farmers farming organic. And in Jamaica, they still tell people, say, you can't do organic. We have a 12-month growing season. It's crazy. All the knowledge is there, the technology is there, all the stuff. Products are there if they want to make the switch, but there's no willingness to do that because too many people are making money off of poisoning us. And we ourselves are just sitting there. Most of the people in them don't have no understanding of how the body works. That if you spray this thing that is going to kill a plant and kill an insect, and you're absorbing into your skin as a farmer or even as just a person, They just go to market and just pick up. We just did a residue test with all these different Coronation Market, different places all over the island, and the residues under are so through the roof, and people still don't understand. And we talk about bread basket, and no, and then on top of it, there's nothing at the ports checking in that things that come into into Jamaica at what levels of toxicity that's coming in. So we're not checking anything that is going out because we don't seem to care. The little things that we can get to export, and the things that are coming in, there's no checks and balances on that. And then the things that comes from the marketplace, from the different farmers. There's a particular, I'll tell you one last story, because now I'm getting upset again. Because I just can't believe our people who are supposed to be so bright and so intelligent and so this and so that can be so fooled on a constant basis that anybody that comes to them with a buckle or something, them just care more about money than their own life. There's a product that they've been using in St. Elizabeth that, how them find out about the product, I don't know who's smuggling it or what's going on with it, but a person went to a restaurant and put them hand down on the table, and when they lift up them hand, it was burnt, chemical burn. Some talk to the waitress and say to waitress, what is on this table? I just got burnt. And she said, it's some chemical, something them get from the farmers. And the farmers, them wipe it on the table, so fly pitch on the table, fly dead. And this is what the farmers are using to spray their crops because they don't want no insect. They don't want to have any loss. And those same things are coming into the marketplace, and people don't have no clue what it is or where to come from. It's been either smuggled in or it's coming under some kind of thing there, but it's being used. How is it that there's class action lawsuits on glyphosate, and we in Jamaica still use a no class action lawsuit? So I just have a big problem with it. So I'm sorry if you're getting me in a part where I'm a little bit depressed today, because driving around the place and trying to find in a one parish, one clean place, you can't find one person that's a Rasta man or somebody who say, burn that and I'm going to try to just do the thing in a clean way. And so when we are at the farmers market now, doctors are sending us lists for the people and say, all right, we want some 10-pound of carrot, we want some juice, or we want some beets, or what. It's people fly into Jamaica and they want to, they have say they're coming from New York or they're coming from Florida, they have an illness and they're supposed to do a detox. It's hard for them to even find anything. The people have to go back home. So they call us, and we're the only place in town, really, in Ireland that you have a concentration of organic farmers, which we have hand trained and work with. And we have some production going on with that. But if you're in Montego Bay to get food, you have to come to us all the way to Kingston on Saturday, or we have to try to figure out how to ship you something across. On this island, it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And so I'm very frustrated with this thing, because I expect more from our people. I think our people are supposed to have sense and know so that today I talked to a young lady. She sprayed up her entire place, and she have her 2 little children or run the place. So I said to her, how this thing stay like that? I sprayed it with, I said, did you ever take the name off of the bottle that I give you and put it in and just Google and see what it does? Because you have your 2 young children here and you just spray up the place. She have peanuts and she have other things, and she'll try plants and she'll try to make a little living. And as soon as I said to her about that, she just like shut down. And I'm saying to myself, oh God, I mean, really? This is how we're operating. And so I'm sorry, I'm taking up airtime, but I'm very upset about what I'm seeing, because I know that when you absorb these things into your system, that's why there's so much dialysis now, because your body don't know what to do with it. These are all synthetic stuff. Your body don't even know how to deal with it, how to get rid of it. And we are not making any headway of making any changes. It's just like we just keep going on with the same foolishness, the same ignorance, the same whatever. And it doesn't seem like it's getting worse. But in Jamaica, you can't find, I went 3 parishes and I have to be forcing myself to find one farm that is doing something clean, that has some kind of consciousness. I don't know. This is where we are at this point.
Well, Nicola, if you think you're alone, saddened and depressed about the whole thing, just listening to you, and what makes it even worse for me is that my family come from St. Elizabeth, Santa Cruz, and it just heartbreaking to hear all this. And then, you see the ministers them get up and them say, oh, with agriculture is this and agriculture is that. By the way, people, reason why I asked Nicola about the Moroccan fertilizer. And remember, I said the story about the Moroccan fertilizer started around here, right? Because we found out that Jamaica sell out the Western Sahara people to the Moroccans, and that's how them get them get 2.6 million pounds of fertilizer. I wasn't even sure that's the only shipment. But here's what happened. I'm gonna find out this week. Found out that as a result of what we've been doing, there was an audit done specifically on the distribution of Moroccan fertilizer in Jamaica. And it was tabled. And we can't find the report. We can't find it. And we know we have videos of the fertilizer being distributed under the cover of darkness to people's business places. They might take it from one big truck and throw it on a small truck. And that's not how it was supposed to be distributed. It was supposed to be distributed through RADA, where every farmer who's actively involved, who's registered and actively involved in farming, depending on the supply, they're entitled to 2 bags of fertilizer maximum, and each bag weighs 120 pounds. So you get 240 pounds. And yet still with a truckload in the middle of the night, offload in a people place, offload on another truck and things like that. So we have to follow that story there, because you know what? I already find my age. Go ahead, Nicola.
Well, to be honest, if you never get none of that, you're probably blessed by not getting it. Because I'm saying sometimes we think that the things that are coming in that we're supposed to get as a blessing is really a curse. So right. whoever got that and then put that on them land and them figures and them get a bonus is pure. It's really not a good thing. And that's one of the reasons that we push back at that whole thing with the fertilizer. First of all, it's not the fertilizers that's coming from other places. Doesn't have anything to do with our biome that is going on here, or our soils. So you shouldn't be just bringing in things and putting on things. And this is probably our fault to cover. Sometimes we're too licky, and everything that dropper wants. It's not everything that people are giving you must take. Right? I've been to Morocco. I think I heard the story and I just kind of let it. I'm saying to myself, I've been to Morocco. How can Morocco give us something? You ever seen Morocco? Have anybody know about Morocco? If anything, them supposed to take that fertilizer and give it to the Moroccan people, because them need help more than anybody else, right? Yeah. They need the help. So I thought to myself, how would we bring in fertilizer to give to our country? That don't make no sense. Yeah. We have biomass here. We have, if we understand how to make compost, right? And that's what I'm over here trying to teach people. You grow your fertility. We have a 12-month growing, so this is land of wood and water. If anything, we have water management problem. We don't even import any of them something there. We can actually make our own. We have the biomass and we have the materials to do it. It's a lack of knowledge. What is the saying about lack of knowledge? People perish. This is what it is. I went around and I asked the farmers. I did a talk last week at a farming group, and I asked them, how many of you guys make compost? And a whole group of farmers, nobody understood or knew what compost was. And you're not even supposed to use that fertilizer without having organic material in your soil. You're not supposed to just put fertilizer on things without any organic material. So we're supposed to be making compost first, do that first, and if anything, you try to add more fertility, which we can grow our own fertility. So when I hear these things, I just shake my head, because I don't even understand. And we are supposed to be some bright people. How we can leave our island and go to other places and be bright, and when we're on our own place, we can't, we don't have no sense. Basic things. I had to bring a soil scientist because I knew they weren't going to believe me. Anytime you put fertilizer on the soil, it is salting the earth. It is literally salting. 17 years ago, we had a guy come in, Chuck Marsh, and he's the one that taught us permaculture and all this stuff. And he said to me, Nicola, that the mines, that because to make the fertilizer, you have to have salts in your mine. The mines are being mined out. They have maybe at the time, and they tell me about actually 10, 15 years left of that salts that you normally add to it. We're going to have a problem. And because he's a researcher and he's looking at what the research is going on globally, he's seeing where you're going to have a problem in a couple of years. And it's true. That's why it's going to be more and more expensive to bring in and buy for fertility because it's being mined out. So it's like it's really even silly for us to be at this point doing that. If anything, we're supposed to be learning how to make our own compost and doing our own fertility. Because if something stop and no plane, no ship come in, what we're going to do is stop farm. And literally, that's what COVID. That's exactly what happened. Because when they couldn't bring the material in because whatever logistics happened and the price of shipping went up, everybody had to freeze and stop. And then the farmers were stuck because they didn't teach them any other way. Right? We can't just only one way. And we have literally everything that we need. We have it on island. Everything we need. If you talk about fungicide, we can make our own stuff. There are things here, all the plants that we need. The creator, whoever created this place, is amazing because everything we need is always right there for you. You just have to open up your imagination, open up your mind, and learn how to work with the plants and the energies of the plants to get what you need. But if you keep doing the extractive system that was left over from slavery was like, we just want everything out. We don't care what happens to the soil or what happened to the land. We just want to it's just about money and extraction. We live here. We have to think about how we regenerate the soils. The soil is healthy. The plants will be healthy. You don't have to spray all that stuff on it. I think a lot of the agronomists know this, but because of how the system is set up, even if you want to be an organic agronomist, you can't even do it in the system because the system is set against you because it's only friend and make sure the money goes a certain way and all. Exactly the things that you talk about. But we have no food security, none. We have no food security in this place. Other places you say, all right, we have 6 months and you make sure things are stored up and you have whatever. We have no food security, none. And we've been saying this over and over for years and trying to get people to understand what they need to do and all that stuff. We imported more things which we don't even know what they are half of the time because nobody's checking to see how these different people are growing things or shipping it in. And then we're just consumers, and we're just consuming a whole bunch of poison that nobody's even saying anything about. All right, sorry.
No, you know what?
It's just maddening because I just think of Jamaicans as bright people, and then when we start to do some dumb stuff, I just wonder.
No, I'm going to have you on with, depending on your convenience. I'd love to have you on a Saturday show where we have an even big audience and people can actually listen to what you have said because I think you have a very important message to deliver. And this is not coming from a textbook. This is coming from practical experience. This is coming from knowledge. This is coming from wisdom. This is coming from you actually visiting these places and you have personal stories that you can talk about what's going on in Jamaica, how we are poisoning the land. And by extent, we're poisoning ourselves. Part of it is because we're licky. And I'm glad you didn't take none of the Moroccan Moroccan fertilizer. Because I want to send some of them people that go out. They work hard, believe me. Because we found out that 400,000 pounds of the fertilizer missing. Them can't account for it based on documentation that they provided. And when I ask them questions, them just climb up on me. Right now, I have a case before a tribunal to force them to give me the information. And then we go now and read a report and she said the Auditor General did an audit on the distribution of the Moroccan. So I'm just curious to see it because it better match the information that me have, It better match the information. It don't match it. It don't match it. It don't match it because the information that me have is what them give me. The information where she have is where she go and she dig and she find. So we have to see what, but let me just open it up to the panelists because I'm sure they want to ask questions and people in the chat. Nicola is here and want to ask questions. Hey, if you don't want to turn on the phone to so they can ask questions because very interesting segment, very interesting lady.
Yeah.
And have a lot to say. So Dr. Ben.
Yeah, before she comes, as I said, Nicola is a part of the Source Farm community. If anybody, if you go on YouTube and search up dome houses, because Source Farm has done so much work. Part of their work is educating persons as it relates to what we call natural construction. So on their property there, they have houses that are built from dirt, that we call dirt or earth. So there's earth bag. These are homes that are built. There are homes there that are built from the earth. So they basically teach persons about the power of natural construction. As you said, it's an intentional community where they do a lot of work around permaculture. They have permaculture training. They have organic farming training. They have a number of workshops that I believe. And as a matter of fact, I've been there, on numerous occasions, and I spent some time in one of the dome houses, and that has inspired me in terms of now looking in that direction in terms of create and not only have they built adobe houses and dome houses, but over their 17 years existence, they have also helped that type of technology to be accepted by the Master Builders Association. So before Source Farm, there was no concept about earth bag, and there was no concept about the standard. So they have worked with the Master Builders Association to help them to know, accept, and to some extent have a code, a system as it relates to building houses from earth bags. So a lot of persons out there who just know about cement and know about block. I mean, natural construction is out there. And so one of the reasons why we have is because we can talk about the therapeutic benefits, the healing benefits of staying in those homes. And so they have a facility there, a retreat facility. And I've worked with Source Farm because when we do our assessment and we see clients and we want to get them healthy, because they have a farmers market in Kingston, and they're basically now rolling out, because duplicating that system across Jamaica. So if you see persons in St. Thomas, in Clarendon, in Moby, and they need to get organic foods, she is a part of a whole a chain of organic farmers, farmers who farm according to organic principles, where when you go there, none of those foods will have fertilizers. So we're working with her, and now what we're doing is, and she'll talk about it, is that we're also doing some clinics. So there are persons who want to come to Jamaica. If you want to come to Jamaica, we're partnering with her in doing a series of clinics at the end of the month on herb walk. So you can come, you can get a chance to experience these, staying in these healing facilities and experience organic food. Source Farm is always, they have all types of projects. It's nearly impossible for you to go there and there isn't a particular workshop going. So, she'll talk about it, but they have all types of workshops. I went there and I did the last workshop I did was a week long. I stayed there for about a week, and I participated in a permaculture. And permaculture is where you learn to design your living habitat in conjunction with nature. So you rather than we going there and implementing what we want, we go there, we look at the surrounding, we learn from it, and we let the environment dictate to us how we will now come into that space. So a whole lot of activity, a whole lot. As I said, I'm glad you invited me, because there's a whole lot of projects and activities over there in Source Farm that I believe Jamaica needs to know about. I mean, I believe that this has been one of the best, one of the most hidden, best kept hidden secret in Jamaica. And in terms of, if you know of any organic or sustainable or regenerative, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a community, whatever it is, I can tell you that in some way or in somehow, Source Farm has contributed into it becoming what it is. So I believe that this is something that if you're abroad, she'll share that information with you. But that's something that I would highly recommend persons to be a part of.
Dr. Ben, I have a question for Nicola. So the average farm in Jamaica is probably anywhere between 15 to 20 acres?
No. Most of the farms are very small farms, so you could get usually about 2 to 5 acres the most.
Okay.
There
So
are
my
some
question
other
to you.
big old ones that were like plantation, but the average farms are very small.
Okay. So my question to you is, so if I have a 5 acre lot, right?
Hmm.
Plot, and I'm gonna do the composting and whatnot, because everything boils on back to dollars and cents based on what they're doing now.
Hmm.
How much of that farm, how much acreage would I have to allot for the whole composting process, right?
No, you just need. I mean, really, the compost. I would say only if I
Hope I'm
measure.
asking the question right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it's really about. I'm just thinking about the sizes of things. So
Composting
maybe like a 10 by 20 feet of space
space.
to do
Yeah.
composting, depending on what you're doing. So it doesn't take a lot of s- space per se. What
And
it
this,
is if anything, you're piling and you're doing like if you're doing Johnson soup static pile, or you're making, and then you're transferring from one. There's ways now you can make it even faster, so it doesn't have to take long. You spray the EM on it or indigenous microorganisms on it, and it breaks out even faster because we have the heat compared to the compost that you're maybe in the US because it's a colder climate. So we can do this, and it
so
depends
you're
also
saying
on what you're
basically,
growing and what your soil. When you do your soil test, you see what is missing, whether how much organic material is missing, and then on top of it, you don't necessarily. Yes, you have to do you do composting, but if you're looking up for fertility, you could just grow your cover crop. You throw cowpeas or indigo, those kind of things, and after you turn those under, then you plant your crop in there and you do a crop rotation. So it's not a matter of space or anything. What exactly you're growing is one of the issues. Is the soil that you're growing on appropriate for what you want to grow? It's not everything you can grow on everything. You have to kind of see what does the soil need or not need. So you might have to balance it off. So it's really is about a holistic approach to it, and then how you lay out the farm as well. What exactly? I've been discouraging folks to just be doing cash crop. I think that this island is really suited more for tropical trees. Is a strategy that what we've been trying to show the farmers. We to put in trees, different tropical trees, different kind of trees in, and then you do the cash crops in between it. And then but at the same time, if you're there, you're going to be tending to those trees because there's much more money on tree crops and even cash crop. But you have to get to, you have to get there. So a farmer come in, I just want to plant cash crop, that's it. But you're not thinking about the retirement when you can't bend over back, when your back can't bend over no more.
Mhm.
And so most of the people, I'll give you a story. There's a gentleman that returned home and he decided to do an orchard of jackfruit,
Mhm.
right? It take a little time in between he's planting his cash crop, but the jackfruit grows and he's now harvesting the jackfruit. It's easier for him to do that than to just be doing other crops. If you wanted to do other crops just for your household and stuff, that's fine. But this island is more appropriate for it's a tropical place, so you want almost tropical forest. What we're trying to do is to just do what Braca Master said from long time out of slavery and just do those crops that are not supposed to be planted in the way that they've been kind of planted here. So we have to think about it. We wanted to have, a tropical forest where we have nuts and berries and different kinds of fruits and mangoes, everything that is native to be able to be in this space versus just doing things that are not necessarily appropriate for here. So we have to kind of think about how we like our diet, and that's some of the things that Dr. Ben talks about. Looking at our diet and does the things that we are planting is it appropriate for us? And so our bodies need different things at different times. So the farming that we're doing, that what we tend to do, is tends to be this quick cash crop thing that is what's really end up poisoning us in the long run. So we need a holistic diet approach when we're looking at these things. So don't just think about okay, how much this, because
Uh,
like just
I just
straight
put in my mind.
straight forward.
I just trying to put myself in the shoe of the farmer. Our
Right.
next thing I want to ask you, which is a follow up on that, is that if the foods are current are fertilized, um, does it have any negative effect if you use the fertilized food as compost versus your food that is organic and using it as compost? If you get
It
what I'm saying.
depends. It depends on what what is in the fertilizer. It
Hmm.
depends. So say for instance, is also what is being sprayed. Because suppose you spray the place with glyphosate, that has like 6 years, 7 years, half life by the time it breaks down. So we don't want to use a product that has been sprayed with glyphosate to make a compost, because again it takes forever for that stuff to come out.
Okay.
So, not everything. Sometimes things are 2 and 3 years that they say when them do them research and them do them tests. But some of these other things that we love to spray literally is 7, 8 years that they're seeing that this stuff is still in the soil. So, garbage in, garbage out. You don't want to really put those things, not everything you want to put in a compost. You want to break it down, but some of these things last a long time, and that's one of the reasons that when we go and we do soil tests, we need to if you get a piece of land, the first thing you do is do a soil and water test and figure out what it is that's going on. So maybe even the land that you got wasn't so nice, but your next door neighbor over there spray up the place, and it drifts onto your land. You need to know what is going on. The water that's upstream, people are doing all kind of madness upstream, and it's going into the water table or into the stream, and you're pulling water from there. The water you're using toxic stuff as well. So you have to pay attention to what is going on. So I don't know if that helped you. It helped you to answer that question.
Yes, it did, and appreciate it.
Any other question from the panel for Nicola? Oh, by the way, people, the phone opening up 876-8. None of my phone that. 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. And the call you, Nicola, there I know, and she'll talk about the things.
Wonderful. So while they're thinking, I'm gonna ask OT if OT could just put up the flyer that I sent. So maybe Nicola could talk a little bit about.
I talk about it. Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
While he's putting up the flyer, I can talk about it. So this I would say intervention came about because of us in the farmers market, to be honest. So at the farmers market, we kept getting a lot of people that unfortunately got hoodwinked into taking this jab thing that they gave, this COVID thing. And so we literally have people like having fits, seizures at the market. People, all kinds of different complaints. We've had a number of our customers that have died because, even while they're eating healthy, they got tricked into taking this thing. And so we know that whatever humans made, usually there's some other way to detox the system. So because of this, we really said, let us address this issue, because the customers were actually asking us to what do we do? How do we detox it? And so I asked Dr. Ben and Dr. Pickin and all these other folks that you see on the flight to come on a weekend to just have a reasoning, because this whole thing happened and there's been no conversation about any of the people that have been vaccine injured, right? I know in the US there's groups set up and other people have been having forums and stuff, but in Jamaica we have never had anything like that. They're not even addressing it. And I think some people are just embarrassed and sweeping it under the rug, and people are dropping like flies here, right? And nobody wants to say, oh, I got hoodwinked, I took this thing, right? So we say enough of this sweeping it under the rug, because we're dealing with it on a daily. Every week at the market, somebody comes and says something. So we have a whole wellness section at the market just to address the issue. So I said, all right, let's just have a reasoning. And anyone that has taken this and want to know about how we can try and detox it and address the issues, we will have a weekend, and we're going to do it every end of the month. So people who are wherever you are in the world and you want to come, reach out to us, and we will come and we will sit and we'll have a whole session about having this conversation. Because a lot of people that did do it were under, it was a mass brainwashing that went down. And now that they're ill and they're having all these issues, we need to have a conversation. And then asking Dr. Ben to kind of look at the system using his machines and his knowledge, and to really look at it, because it affects different people in different ways. The cancer rates have gone up, the heart attacks, the strokes, all of those kind of things. And especially about the women, oh my God, the women. We've had women that are 90, that are not 90, 70, that haven't had a cycle, had a cycle. A lady that comes into the market, her stomach is so swollen. Like, I thought she was pregnant, and only to find out she took the shot and this is what happened to her. And, you know, her boss forced her to take it because she needs to travel, all of this stuff. And now she's injured and the workplace isn't doing anything to help her. She's now, you know, vaccine injured. So there are real cases. So we want to be able to say, all right, you know, unfortunately this happened to you. Come, let's really look at it and see if we can address this, to see if we can, you know, because what I heard them say, 3 to 5 years, most of these people that took it would have transitioned. They would have died. So I don't know. This is what I heard when I've, you know, all the different scientists have done this research. We have a researcher that has been looking at it across, you know, the depth of what was done, what is possible to how we could detox some of this stuff. And we're going to put this panel together and we have a reasoning. So I know that for some people they're kind of embarrassed because them see what happened afterward after everybody was telling them not to do it and them do it. Time to just fess up and say, all right, come clean and let us reason this out and let's see if there's some things that we can address and do it. So we're going to be doing this every end of the month. And we already had some folks that are calling in and are going to be showing up and seeing how we can help. Because this is the thing, we can't, you know, no need to hide it. Let's just do it so that you can see if you can survive. Because what is also happening here, when you go to the doctors here, they know that what has gone on, but they're not really, they don't want to lose them license and them livelihood and them whatever, them have them magnificent school and them have them retirement, whatever. They are not remotely addressing it, even though there are doctors that I have spoken to that are regular medical doctors that's like, know that there are patients that said, my patients that took it, they're just dying like flies and then just sweeping it under the rug. So that's a whole other issue. But what I care about right now is like the people who want help, we can have that conversation and figure out how it is that we can help you mentally even navigate the space, what you have kind of done to yourself in a way, because you listen to other people and didn't listen to your, you know, like your consciousness about what would happen. And now we're in this position. And they've seen all their friends. I mean, there's a group of women that they walk every morning. They all go check it. I know they're all having issues right after that. I mean, there's so many different stories that I can tell you about. And we're faced right now in the farmers market because, you know, people come for health. And so also when the cancer turn up, the doctors do send them to us. And so we are seeing them and we're trying to do with the food, but there's other things that we would love to, you know, work with Dr. Ben and other people, practitioners that will be able to help them navigate that space.
Folks, when the phone are ringing, you know, and that's why we have this program, so we can take phone calls and talk to folks. The number there, the ticker at the bottom of the screen, 667-369-8569.
There's somebody that says they took it and they have no effect, and they're knocking on wood. It's not a knock on wood business. It literally have to go and see what your body, because your body is doing things. You took it, and if your immune system, well, no, it's effect because it's things that have never been tested before. RNA thing is going into different organs, and that's what I said. Between 3 to 5 years, it's going to show up. So there was first people that took it, and some people just exited right away. And then what I'm seeing is another round of set of people that are just dropping because now it's working on the heart, it's working on different places, it's working on the cancers. And so don't just because you took it, and you know, say nothing right now that it is not doing its effect. That's why, and the thing is that the regular doctors are not really addressing it because they know the deal, because then you're going to be lawsuits, all kind of something, and people are not in there. That is why it's important to go put yourself on that machine, the quantum machine, and figure out what exactly is going on. And this is what's been happening. Everybody say, oh, may never drop over dead right then and there. But in their bodies, they know that there's something necessarily wrong, and everybody's just been sweeping it under the rug. So I'm saying, really, please don't just put your head in the sand, right? Don't put your head in the sand in this one. Please, please, please get checked out and see what is going on with you, right? We're not trying to sell no packages or not. It's not what about. It's just because we're dealing it on a regular basis. So you said, when I said tie your camel up first and then pray, this is about tying your camel up, right? Because this is a real thing that was done. And this next one that I have said that is coming through, for me, and let me tell you, I've been watching this thing, checking this thing out from before I left the US. That's one of the reasons I left, because I saw what was coming down the pike. My husband and I did research, and we watched the original H1N1 that they did. And it's Anne Burgermeister in the Czech Republic busted it. Remember way back when it was, what, 2014, 2015, 13? Everybody was like, oh, it's a pandemic, H1N1, all this stuff. And everybody was supposed to line up at CVS and take this thing and whatever. And all of a sudden it just disappeared. It disappeared because what they did was they put the flu virus in, they put the H1N1 in the flu virus, and they sent it out. And the Czech Republic, when they get anything from anywhere, they test it on their animals, and it was ferrets. And they tested on the ferrets, and all the ferrets died. And Anne Burgermeister, who was a health reporter, got wind of it and started to research. And she realized that this is what it was, because you put it in the flu vaccine, everybody catch it, and they're now spreading it. And then they were selling the vaccine to all these countries for millions of dollars. And finally, they tried to kill her 2 different times. And the people at the Italian government said enough of this, because they realized that they would have to pay all this money, and that they put a kibosh to that whole thing. It's the same one, they might come back around, but they souped it up. So we now have to be aware of what is going on in the world. Sometimes we say these conspiracy theories or whatever. It's not theories anymore, it's facts. And so we have to be very clear that there are a set of people that are destined to do them like a population reduction, whatever. And everybody's always but these things are actually happening, and there's data and stuff to back it. So we don't want to be anybody's guinea pig anymore. Enough of that. We come on, we're born, we want to have a nice little life, do our little things that we want to do, have our families, that kind of stuff. And we have to be aware and open our eyes. But we as people are always thinking that everybody has good intentions for us, and that is not always the case. So I'm asking folks that anybody who's on this program that took it, no problem. You took it, it's done, gone bad already. Just don't close your eyes and act like it's not real. It's something that really happened, and you just go on and you do your checks and see what you need to do and eat healthy. Right now, everybody's supposed to be boosting their immune system. Always just and natural vitamin D, right? Dr. Ben will tell you all the things that we're supposed to be doing, but we can't just keep burying our head in the sand and acting like this stuff is not going on, right? It is absolutely happening, and it's happening again. And if you don't say anything and you don't take any responsibility for yourself, then other people will take responsibility for you. And that's one of the things that why we left the US and came back, is because we see what is going on, and we want to create a different kind of environment for ourselves. We look at how do we live, how do we interact with the planet, how do we, what are we eating, all of those kind of things, and then we try to demonstrate it. Sometimes we're not perfect, but we try to demonstrate, and we try to live a cleaner lifestyle and show others how you can do. You can't have to do everything. But a lot of people want to return home, and they've lived the thing, they do them work, and they're tired of all of that stuff, and they want to get out of the system. So what we are doing is to show you how you can do it affordably, right, more holistically, and not also coming and endangering the whole space. Because if you've never lived in Jamaica for a while or never lived in the natural world, you're going to want to chop down everything and bulldoze everything and all that stuff. But there's ways to learn how to work with nature and not against it, and so that you actually save money. And every mistake that I made in coming home, I'm here to say, don't do it that way. Let me show you how to not interact and how to integrate yourself into the natural world, where it's going to be a much, much more healthier space for you than just coming and building a big concrete house. Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Chris, that are Michael, who not talk yet. Michael?
No, Sean.
Sean? Yeah, we know you're from here, Sean.
Say it again. Say it again.
No, I said we haven't heard from you. You have anything you want to say?
The challenge is right now is I am in Cuba and the background noise is not great, and they're constantly changing up on me. Tell me one more time what you said, Rattigan.
Yeah, I was just asking if you have any comments, questions, observations.
I did have a comment. So one of my questions was, could you speak a little bit to how and what we could do for insects? Like I compost, right? I'm in Orlando, and while I've done a decent job of feeding that what is sand in Orlando, all of Florida is sand, right? I have a challenge with the insects. I was wondering if you could share a little bit about that, and I was hoping you could get into what, if anything, some of, I want to say, organization in Jamaica that's supposed, and I put it in quotes, help you, like RADA, right? That's supposed to help you with your land, because I do have a few acres in Jamaica also that I've been working really hard on trying to get up to par. So I was hoping you could share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about insects. So, this is one of the things that people go, "Oh my God, the bugs are eating my plants and all of that stuff," right? And so I need to spray them. So first of all, we have to like think about, well, first you have to figure out which bug it is, right? So you do some scouting and you figure out what is going on. Most of the time when people have a lot of challenges with the insects is because they've monocropped something. And it's like creating a buffet for bugs. It's like, oh, thank you. You've created everything I like to eat is here. So I'm going to come and only eat here. In a natural world, there'll be all different kinds of plants, but we've gotten rid of all of those things. And it's just one crop. And so, of course, you've set up a buffet and they will come and everybody will tell them friend and then will come and just eat that. So that's one. So you have to look at it. The other thing that's happening why you're having such an issue with bugs, because everything has a natural predator or something that will balance the population out. But by spraying, there are these tiny wasps and tiny other insects that when we spray, we kill them so that the nature is out of balance. So if you're farming, we always recommend people to put a natural border around that, create a border crop with our flowers and different plants, all that stuff. So the bugs that are there, they have to live too, because there's a reason that they're there, and they can have something else to eat. And so you kind of divert them from your crop to that. So it's about, planting border crops and then planting enough that the bugs can get something as well to eat. Why is it only we one must eat? They mustn't eat. You think God only create us one? They create everything in harmony and balance. But when we're out of balance, that is when you always end up having a problem, right? If you are having a problem, there are other things natural things that you could do, right? But the first thing you do, and I use this as the permaculture principle, is the first one, is observe before you interact. Not because you see one bug or a couple bugs doesn't mean that you go and you just start kill everything in sight, right? You have to observe it first and say, all right, why is this happening? And then before you decide the strategy. There's somebody else on. Okay, before you interact and spray up the whole place, right? So this is the thing that we should be looking at. One, we're overspraying a lot of chemicals and everything's out of balance. Create the border crops to create balance in your space. Leave a little extra so that they can eat, and then they won't always attack everything. So if you know that you're having a problem with a specific thing, you have to do a little bit of research. Like organic farmers, they have to research. They don't just do things. They say, all right, they observe and then they do a little research. Why is this situation happening? And then you address the situation inappropriately. And then you don't reach for any kind of heavy thing until you figure out what exactly is going on. And that's one of the things that people don't understand. We have a lot of, oh my God, there's a lot of weeds growing up. Why are those things growing? The earth will always want to cover itself. Just like you don't want to walk around being exposed. So we wear clothes, or if it's cold, we wear something to cover ourselves up. The earth is always going to want to do that. So if you're finding like, okay, look at what weeds are, what you say, weeds are something like maybe you're not necessarily wanting to grow. But what I'm saying to some of the farmers, some of the things that we are killing out are actually more valuable than the things that we're planting. So look at what is being produced and think about that. And then create opportunities like mulching or looking at how you're planting things, because it's always going to happen and you'll always be trying to fight nature. The planet has been here much longer than we will ever be here, right? It's really the planet, right? The natural environment, that the base frequency on this planet is the trees and the plants and the things. We're just here for a moment in time. And so there's always going to want to protect itself. So if you start working with nature and not against it, so if you notice in your yard, there are more viney things and you don't want that particular vine, find something else that is going to provide that same function that you can maybe get a yield from, right? So if you see a thing and there's a lot of vine, then you plant some pumpkin or watermelon. That's going to cover the soil and you're going to get a yield from it. But you don't just, all right, we're going to pop this up, because whatever you're going to pull up is going to come back, right? Because nature's always going to be like, all right, what do I have? What am I going to also put there to cover the soil? It's always going to want to do that. And also, the bugs are there for a reason, a specific reason. It's part of a cycle. It's like the other day I was just talking to somebody, in America, remember when they killed out all the wolves and then all the deers were there, there was no predators. And because all the deers were there, all the grasslands were having issues. It's a full cycle, right? There's a reason why these things are here. And if we don't understand, it's because we don't sit and observe the thing long enough to understand what that particular insect or plant or animal is doing. We just say, yo, they're not supposed to be here, because we did deem it so, but we didn't take the time to observe the cycle before we interacted with it. And now we have problems. Same thing with the fires that you're having right now. Why are we we build these houses in these spaces, but there's the Santa Ana winds that comes through and we're surprised that the houses get burnt down. You're not supposed to be there. So those are the kind of things now I think we are now getting an opportunity to understand. Some fires have to be in certain places in the US, because in order for those pine cones to open up, they need fire to burst open. It's not just because, they used to do control burns. They said no more control burns. And then you have what you have. Nature is going to do its thing. And we sometimes just get in the way of it. And then we're surprised when it happens. Hurricanes. People were screaming about the hurricane. Of course, hurricanes. Nobody wants hurricanes, right? We have damage from it. But what the hurricanes do is open up the canopy so other plants can grow. And I personally, we're donated 370 acres of land. And I can tell you that I made that mistake. I was saying to them, no, don't cut no tree, man, no cut no tree, no cut no tree. Some of those trees have been around for a while. They needed to be trimmed. Some of them are dying. They needed to go. And the hurricane came and opened up the canopy so other things can live. So it's a cycle, but we have to take the time to observe before we interact, learn a little bit more before we start doing all kind of, and it's what we've been doing for years, and that's why we're having the problems we have now.
So when I think,
Dr. Ben, because
one
some calls from some women who want to talk about film issues. Yeah, they want some issues.
We can talk about it. But
no, but go ahead, ask Nicola a question.
Yeah, as Nicola is on the point, one thing I talk about is what we call natural intelligence. So part of what Nicola is talking about is the same thing we talk about as it relates to health. So basically, so there's artificial intelligence, which we know a lot about. Now, artificial intelligence is mimicked based on natural intelligence, and natural intelligence is basically the fact that the natural world has a frequency on which it communicates to us. Now, most of us are not attuned to natural intelligence because we spend more time on artificial intelligence. And again, artificial intelligence is based on a frequency that is not compatible with our frequency. So the more we are exposed to artificial frequency, is the more we have mental issues. And then after mental issues, we have physical issues because the frequency is not conducive to our. Now, natural frequency, which is what you're exposed to. So people start to realize that, hey, if you walk barefoot, there's your therapeutic benefits. If you interact with trees and plants and even animals, which is why a lot of people, there's this whole talk about the benefits of pets. It's really the interaction between animals. When you interact with the natural world on that frequency, it has therapeutic benefits. And so what happened is that when you start to connect with what I call a natural intelligence, then it takes maybe about 3 days, 4 days, maybe a couple of days, but not long after you start to get intuitive messages. You start to pick up on understanding the benefits of the earth. So, for example, if you were, because many of us don't even can appreciate a building. If you were to interact with the earth along with the trees and the grass and all the raw material basically would guide you as it relates to how to build a building. So even if you didn't have much experience, by the time you touch the earth and start to walk in it barefoot, you're flooded with this whole communication as to what to do. And it's the same thing. You're also flooded with information as the realist to, the benefits of plants for food, the benefits of plants for medicine, the benefits of animal. Everything begins to come together, and you begin to appreciate that you're not the only living entity that has a space on the earth. You understand and appreciate the trees. You understand and appreciate the fire. Because, for example, as you mentioned, the fire. If we were if the persons who were building were connected to the earth, they would have known that what you have done, you have violated some natural laws by putting houses where they shouldn't be, because we believe that we have the power to just manipulate our surroundings to our own benefit. But guess what happens? Sometimes it comes in the form of flood. Sometimes it comes in the fire. Sometimes it comes in the form of wind. But whenever we violate the natural laws, the natural elements of nature, we're gonna have the repercussions. So it's no different from our health, because in the natural world, our health is not separate from the health of the insect, is not separate from the health of the earth. Everything is just one. And so many times we only look at things from the perspective of when it's interesting to us, or when it becomes an issue for us. So I said to persons that we talk about this world, talk about climate change. Climate change only became an issue when it was seen to be a threat to mankind. All ancient cultures have a respect for nature, a true respect for nature, and it's not because of the potential risk or the potential damage. It is because they understand that there's a balance that needs to be maintained. So for us, it's not about balance, it's about when it becomes an issue to mankind. So kill off the dogs, kill off the rats, kill off everything else, just so that man can live. And we need to understand that those type of things create balance. So as I said, it's important for us to and I know tonight we say it's Women Wednesdays. We're going to talk about the issues, and we're still going to going into the same issues, because just like how Nicola talks about understanding, when you go into an environment, the goal is to observe. So you observe what is there, and as we always talk about, she talks about crops. A lot of people sometimes don't even realize that when they're clearing land, what they're clearing the land off sometimes is more valuable than what they intend to put in, because whatever was growing naturally based on natural intelligence or the intelligence of the land was producing crops that it knew was valuable to the inhabitants of that space. So that's how things grow. So the land. So for example, I'm sure if we study in LA and look at the plants that grow there, I can tell you a lot about the Palisados. I can tell you a lot about the ailments there, the sicknesses there. The plants that grow tell you a lot about the needs there. So those organic plants are always sometimes more valuable than what we want to import and put in. But we won't know this if we don't take the time to connect with the natural intelligence, if we don't take the time to pay attention to what is around us. And sometimes we are too quick to get rid of what is there. So as we talk about issues affecting women, it's really going to be along that same line. It's just that we're going to shift the focus from the land to the body of the woman.
We'll leave it right there. So it's after 10 now. So a whole bunch of ladies line up now for asking questions about their issues. But Nicola, I'd love to have you on a Saturday. And in fact, somebody just called me and said you need to have this lady on a Saturday program, where she can speak to an even bigger audience. Because the issues that you have raised, they're very pertinent, and they're very significant to the development of Jamaica, because Jamaica, you see where it's going, it's going nowhere. And speaking of people falling, dropping like flies with because of the injection, It's not that alone that kill them in Jamaica, you know, Nicola. A lot of them in Jamaica are dead from, you know what they're dead from? Disappointment because they were promised prosperity in 2016. And when we ask them now, show me the prosperity we have from 2016. Show me how much of them move from poor class to middle class and from middle class to upper class. Not a dege one. Up to now, me don't meet nobody will come from the place behind me. We're gone up Avondale or Beverly Hills. Not one. All of the people, you say the place behind me, there's some used to live. All of the people who live in other places at Waterhouse, all of them do the same way.
Yeah.
We talk to them every day. Them going nowhere fast. And what this is what is they get despondent. There's despair, disappointment, dissatisfaction, everything deep about this place here. And so, you know, it don't look pretty. So we're going to invite you why you come because we believe that you have a message that should be heard.
You're from Waterhouse, right, Rattigan?
Yeah.
From Towile originally. So.
Oh, you didn't get a man, bro.
Yeah, nah, yeah, man.
See, yeah, man. Used to play for Towile under 16.
Yeah?
Yeah, me used to cross the gully and come over. Go through
You didn't know the shop that sell food at night time, Miss Dell and Mr. Fisher?
We shot it there.
Closer to top
long
Towile.
time, you know.
Yeah, man, no, them did about a long time to me. Near to Villa side. That side, not Vincent side.
I'm going to Bay Farm Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my grandparents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's about that then, man. We probably know a whole heap of people, you know. Yeah, but Nicola, what should I?
I'm here, and I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I think that OT came. Okay. Yeah, so we want to thank you for coming on and sharing. It's not only your views, it's the truth. You share the truth with us. And we're really, really appreciative of it. And we
I'm just thankful that there's a forum like this to have this conversation. And that, yeah, we'll have to hold people to their feet to the fire where they make promises and stuff. And yeah, man, it's absolutely because somebody's got to keep an eye on watching what is and keep everybody, you know, paying attention to what's going on. So I'm really, really grateful for you to be doing this and just grateful that you know, had me on. And I'm happy to share any information I have. But there's a way. Jamaica is a beautiful place. And if we're not careful, it's not going to be ours. People think that, you know, it's just a given that we're here, but it's not. And there's a plan set to transition us all off of here. And then you're going to see the change happening. So we who are here that love this place, people have been telling you, you know, have land and paying the taxes and they'll come back home, create those opportunities. Don't just think that, you know, wherever you've gone, whether you're UK, whatever that is, and you know, that is all it is. It's very important. And one other thing, our ancestors, people, when they worked really hard to get these pieces of land, right? And it wasn't easy. And so when we throw a stone behind us and say we don't really need it and we're not really taken care of, and you know, maybe grandma and grandpa buried somewhere, nobody come back and clean off them grave, nobody care about that. We can't do that, right? We don't do that. And other cultures don't do that. So we have to also open our eyes and be aware. We have to be, it's only when Bolt Run or somebody do something that we want to say we're Jamaican. It's more than that. We have to make sure that we do that reciprocity. We come home, we check, we pay attention, we hold them accountable because one day you might have a comeback. Yeah, you throw a stone, you might have a comeback. And what are you coming back to? They may not be nothing for you to come back to.
Believe me. When this president, I know, but guarantee you, our only power will go back. In the next 4 years, our only power will go back. So they need to listen to you to figure out when them come back with them a plan. Because they have a plan over here. And the plan over here is to send all of the ones in here back where them come from. So I want them to keep that in mind. Because I get phone calls already, you know. I get phone calls to them start up with this interrogation on the street business already. Clients are calling me and say, what me to do? You know, they must stop on the ask for idea. 1 day or a couple of days into this administration, them start already. People are calling me. So, you know, God bless them out there. And they give me a call, you know, because maybe we can do something for them. So, Nicole, big up yourself. You don't have to go, you know, because right now we're going to talk about some female issues. I'm sure you hear about them already from Dr. Ben. But if you can stay and maybe you can add something to the conversation, we'd appreciate it.
Dr. Ben got this.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Peace. Thanks, everybody.
All right, take care of
All
yourself.
right. Thank you,
Much
Nicola, for coming.
thank you, Dr. Ben, for inviting me.
All right. Dr. Ben.
Yes, yeah, man. So, tonight is Women's Wednesday. Our body is just like, and I mean, I see some questions popping up. Let me start. I'm gonna ask OT. Any one of the herbs in that I sent you the picture of OT, you can just throw it up because we want to feature some herbs that women should know. Every Jamaican woman, every woman should know these herbs. So anyone of you want to put up, you want to, because these are herbs that are, um, that carry this kind of feminine energy. So even though they may be beneficial to men, they are, for the most part, mostly beneficial for women. All right, so we wanna, and these are herbs that that grow in a lot of people. Yeah, there are some more that I want to share with you, but we want you to know what they look like because chances are some of you may be having issues that that will need some of these herbs, and there's straight herbs, but then there are formulations that we can do. Maybe one of the conditions that is very dear to me is a condition called uterine fibroids. And Sean is on because Sean has a product. They're available. The fibroid buster. We'll talk about that. And why it is such an issue for women. So our body is just like Mother Earth, just as how we treat the earth, that how some of us treat our body.
Yeah.
Right. That is so true.
Put up the picture.
So I don't know if you want to start by while OT is looking for the image. If you have some questions or
email. I thought he was going to use the I don't have them. I thought he was going to use the WhatsApp like he did before. So now I have to go check into the email for it.
All right, checking out the email.
Yeah, and then ask if you could send it to you.
No, man, make him send it to you.
Oh, okay. She didn't get them.
Dr. Ben, she said she didn't. Can you send them or resend them?
Okay, all right.
Oh, somebody said open the phone line. I will open the phone line, but Dr. Ben not give him speech yet, man. And the virgin them. All right, now open the phone line because maybe your wishes might come on. Real black command. All right, the phone line open now in a real black command, so you can call now. So the number here 6673698569. Well, wait for the call. Call and ask about anything, but make sure that we talk about women's concerns and women's issues. So that's what I really deal with tonight. Real black woman, now we'll wait for the call, you know. All right. Hello, good night. Welcome to Come Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, calling from Jamaica, real black woman, man. I want to talk to Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben, good night again. Right?
Good night. Good night.
I can't lie down. Every time you lie down, I think my stomach come up. Some of the hard to tell home where my dear baby when I have a home, I was dying to make up a lie. After you lie down and speak at the and tell me this to think I'm one doctor. And then give me some of my medication. But it's still not help.
Okay.
Lie down. Can you try me lie down? One bull burning down the throat and like and something like a yard choke. For me to say that's what
All right. So definitely so basically what you're experiencing is stomach acidity. And
no?
yes, are you hearing me? No, I'm saying what you're experiencing is stomach acidity. And the burning that you're experiencing is because there's a lot of acidity in your stomach. And that sometimes is caused by...
but you know what acid reflux.
All right, just hang up and listen.
All right.
Right. So what you're experiencing, as I said, the stomach acidity, and we see quite a number of persons who have stomach acidity as one of the most common condition that we see both for males and females, and it has a lot to do with the type of food that you're eating. A number of things causes that. One, if you're eating too much meat, because our stomach, our body was not made to digest the large amount of meat that we eat. So our bodies have, you know,
Yeah.
our body produces a small amount of hydrochloric acid and other enzymes that break down protein. So when we eat too much meat, then our bodies can digest. A lot of that meat stays on the stomach and becomes acidic. Another thing that can cause that is eating and drinking at the same time. If you're eating and drinking at the same time, if you're eating on one side of your mouth where the food is not chewed properly, so not chewing the food properly, all of this can contribute to that. Now, what you want is you want to get rid of the spicy foods, the peppery foods. You want to get rid of the food that have a lot of fat, and you want to increase the foods that produce mucus to protect the walls of the stomach. And then you want to get what is called like proteolytic enzymes, like papaya or pineapple. And they have them in supplements, bromelain and papain. They have them in supplements, and then so by reducing the amount of protein, avoiding the high levels of those foods, then you will see the acidity just slowly going away. Right? But in terms of herbs that have been used traditionally, herbs like slippery elm has been used traditionally to help with that. There's another herb called matico that has been help that. You can also use plain baking soda. It's an antacid that can help also with that. Somebody asked about, let me see if I can find it, the sanitary napkins, and that's a good place to start. Because most women, or every woman in the modern world, uses sanitary napkins, and part of the problem is that a lot of women don't understand that part of the body, the female reproductive organ, the vagina, is supposed to breathe. It is not supposed to be suffocated. So when you use feminine napkins, okay, great. When you use feminine napkins that are made from non-breathable fabric, then that is where the start of your health issues potentially may start. So you want to use breathable fabrics like cotton or those fabrics that are breathable, so that there's no buildup or multiplication of bacteria. The herb that you're seeing before you is a herb that a lot of persons will see growing in their yard. And this herb is called dog blood, or the scientific name is Ravina humilis. But dog blood, it's called dog blood because the berries, these berries, when you squeeze them, they produce an ink that looks very much like blood. But this herb is what is called a uterine herb. So it's a herb that causes contraction in the uterus. And so because it causes contraction, it is mostly used, or it is heavily used in relation to fertility. Right? It is said to help to clear black tubes. So women who are having infertility issues, this herb is used a lot. Back in days when children used to be delivered by home birth, just after giving baby, the midwife, most midwives would give the woman a cocktail or a decoction made from this, and this was designed to help her to expel any unpassed out placenta, or to help to tone the wound. As a matter of fact, this tonic was given to women, and you would find that most of them, when they turn up to their 6-week clinics, a lot of them 6-week and 8-week clinics, they would turn up back being pregnant, because this herb helped in detoxifying the womb. So it's actually a herb that detoxifies the womb, and it aids with fertility. Because of how it works, in that it has the ability to cause contraction. It's not a herb that you should take without supervision because it can cause an abortion. As a matter of fact, it is also used to induce abortions. So it is something that you have to take with care. Another thing that this herb has been known to be good for is that it helps with relieving the pain or the cramps associated with the menstrual cycle. Right? A lot of times when women have cramps, the cramps is usually during the time when they are passing clots. Usually after the clots have passed out, the period is not that painful. Well, what this womb does is that the contractions help in making it easier for those clots to pass, and so they help to decrease the pain associated with that. So this is a herb that you can take just before your period, not during the period, because if you take it during the period, as I said, you'll find that you're going to have a very, 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 very heavy flow or even an extended flow. So you want to take it to prepare the body for the cycle, not during the cycle. All right, so Stacey said that, Dr. Ben, a lot of us don't know that the standard product is giving us infections, right? Because, as I said, that a lot of the feminine napkins now are not made from natural.
Dr. Ben.
Yes.
Dr. Ben, hold on a second. Go ahead. Miss P, go ahead.
Yeah. You might hear me?
Can you hear now, Dr. Ben?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I'm saying, with this bush here, I was at my house. And the other day, this period, me are 55, so me I look 6 times to period, long time. Anyway, I went to the doctor and tell him about it. He said, family, so just ignore that question. So I tell you, I heard more years, and me take this, we don't say, because speak to one boy, that we told Jesus. And tell me that, he said, huh? Dr. Ben, the bush make me come like me at 16 again. I found that Mr. Period back. Me at 55 and me have a mortgage like any young woman. 55-year-old.
What herb did you take? What herb?
That.
I want me say.
Okay, the dark blood.
Me drinking blood 2023. Drinking bush 23. Yeah. And for me drink the tea. This period start come back normally like the young. Let me say, it can date it that come at 55. So I'm never hang up and tell me, let me listen over this. I mean, I hear your on.
Okay.
So ladies, in my age, and voila, the careful of your bush is good for you.
All right. You know, Doc,
Yes.
I said something here where, hold on a second. Stacey Good Girl Barnum said that it's true about the bush. She said she used to take it, but she stopped because it makes her baby quick. And she have one dog.
Yeah, it's we use it another herb. We have a product called Womb Cleanse, which is an old formula over maybe nearly 100 years old. That my grandmother was a midwife, and as I said, most midwives used to give. So whenever they deliver a woman, this is what they would give her. A tea with these herbs. There are some others that they would give her, and it was intended to pass out any fragments of the placenta that did not come out at the birth. But as I said, what it found was that it helped to tone the womb, helped to clean the womb, and a lot of women actually went to 6-week clinics finding themselves pregnant.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc, you raised a point last week that at some point I wanted to go through. Like when you said that a lot of women don't know how their menstruation blood, the color of the blood should be.
A healthy cycle.
A healthy, yeah, there you go. I just want to remind you about that. They touch at it at your convenience.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so that's a discussion that a lot of young girls have not had with their mom, because sometimes a lot of moms don't know themselves. So what happened is that you have two ovaries. For you to have a cycle, and at least this is how it's understood in natural medicine. There has to be communication between the right ovary and the left ovary for you to have a good cycle. Now that cycle becomes interrupted by a number of factors. Ovarian cysts, a number of factors. But one of them is when the womb, because as I said, the womb cleans itself every month. Every month it cleans itself, and when it cleans itself, it's healthy again. It's making itself available for fertilization. If fertilization doesn't take place, the womb cleans itself. So the womb literally cleans itself every month. Now, during that natural process, there are times that the womb don't clean itself properly. Right? Now, when that happens, the body begins to communicate to you when that does not happen. So what it does is that you will have miscommunication between the ovary. You may have missed cycle, or you may start to have the blood changing color. So the blood is supposed to be bright red, right? Bright red. Sometimes that bright red doesn't come bright red. It's dark red. Usually when it's dark red, if you ignore that dark red, then it changes to a kind of purple. And then after you ignore that, because what the body is trained to do, the body basically escalates. So whenever the body gives a message, when the body sends a message and that message is ignored, the body escalates, and it keeps on escalating to the point that it gets our attention. Usually, sadly, that point is when we start to feel pain, because the body knows that we don't ignore pain. So usually it starts out with inflammation. It starts out by sending us messages. So when the woman ignores that dark red message, then they start to have the blood starts to look black. Not only does it look black, but it starts to come with a stench. And then after coming with a dark purple color and having a high stench, if that is ignored, then what happens now is that it starts to come with a lot of pain and a lot of other, discomforts, the body, and then, it just find other ways, pimples breaking out, all different type of things start to go haywire, because the body is trying to get your attention. I said to women that once you start to see your menstrual cycle deviating from its beautiful red blood color, that is when you need to take it into hand to help the body by detoxifying the womb. This is when it's nice to resort to these herbs. So if you take it, then because when you take, for example, this herb, the woman will notice that she has lower abdominal contraction, and she will notice that she has a brown discharge. Some women will have their menstrual cycle coming back, even though it was past. So the body communicates to you to let you know that it needs your attention. So a lot of times, a lot of women don't listen to their body. A lot of women are not in tune with their body, and so because of that, they are left out of the loop.
Dr. Ben, what is this?
All right, so this is another herb that I took a picture of. This is
Hold on a second.
vervain.
Hold on a second. Caller, good night. Welcome to Conversations Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Miss Philadelphia. Go ahead, please.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Doc. Good night to your team.
Good night, good night, good night.
Okay, you hearing me now?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Not hearing. You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you?
Okay, Doc, this question for you. I have a cousin of mine back in Jamaica, and she has the fibroid problems way bad. And every time she goes to KTH, they keep putting her out, putting her out. So my question is to you, what is the real cause of women having fibroids? And what I notice nowadays is that the younger people too have been having this problem. Younger women. Yeah, first time growing up, it was older women, I used to see them with that kind of problem. But now most of the young people are having this problem. What is the main cause of this situation? Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Very good question. The main cause of fibroids. Fibroids is medically referred to as estrogen dominance, which is basically, it means that there is a high level of estrogen in the body. Now, estrogen is a natural hormone that a woman's body produces, and estrogen has many benefits in a woman's body. One, it's a growth hormone. That's so for the woman's breast to be developed, for the hip to widen. Most of those feminine feature is a result of estrogen. And so what happens is that the normal amount of estrogen that a woman should have, that a woman is not having, that a woman is being, a lot of women now are being faced with a situation in which there are other sources of estrogen. So there's a natural estrogen found in a woman, there are estrogen that are found in plants, and then there are a lot of chemicals that are like estrogen. They're called estrogen mimicking chemicals. Now, what happens basically is that the normal amount of estrogen that the woman should have in his body, the woman has far more than that amount. And that is because of other external forces. So, for example, plastic has lots of estrogen mimicking compounds in it. A lot of the skincare products, hair care products. So, a lot of the products that we use have these hormones in them. And because our body is bomb rushed with all of this estrogen, it results in, as I said, it's a growth hormone. So what does growth hormone do? It causes growth. So in the woman's womb, it causes a fibroid is really a mass of connective tissues. So it's like connective tissues growing like a tennis ball that's growing until it continues to grow. So basically, in a short, that's what caused the problem. Too much estrogen from non-natural sources. So that's what the problem is.
All right, talk to us about this herb.
Yeah. So this is vervain. Again, another herb that has a high feminine energy. I mean, it is antibiotic, antiviral, so it helps with a number of other viral and bacterial conditions. But apart from that, vervain and plants from the family of vervain, like it's called a verbena family. So cat's tongue, and a number of other herbs from that same family have been used traditionally to help with fertility as well, and it has been used for cleansing the womb. So this is a herb that you can use that is typically used along with the dog blood. And there are some other herbs that I don't have the picture of tonight, but these are some herbs that are used for women who are having who needs to detoxify their womb.
So a question in the chat is, should women douche or steam after menstrual cycle?
This is a topic that is highly debatable because, again, we go back to not only does the womb cleanse itself, but the vagina and the womb has a very delicate pH, and you don't want to throw that pH off. Douching is a type of detoxification, but if it's not done properly, a lot of times it can get the pH off. And once the pH of the vagina is off, there are a lot of challenges associated with that. So should a woman douche or steam? She can, but I believe that in making that decision, she should talk to her healthcare provider for her healthcare provider to guide her, because if it's not done properly, you can do more harm than good.
Here's another herb.
Yes, so this is another herb that we call it periwinkle. Now, periwinkle is a hemostatic. Among the many properties, it's antibacterial, antiviral. I mean, but for women, it's one of those herbs that can help. So if a woman, for example, is having prolonged bleeding, so her cycle, she's bleeding beyond her cycle, this is a herb that pretty much has been used for stopping blood flow, right? So if a woman is bleeding beyond her cycle uncontrollably, using this herb is periwinkle is one of the best herbs out there that can help to stop the bleeding. So for example, if you use the dog blood and the woman was having heavy bleeding, then this is a herb that works opposite to the dog blood, because it helps to stop the bleeding. And it's used, if we're making a formulation, it's used as a balancing herb. So because we use it as a balancing herb in that formulation to help with what's happening with menstrual irregularities. And somebody says, yeah, it's grown as an ornamental, but it's also medicinal. It has been used traditionally also for diabetes, type 2 diabetes. It's a herb that has been used for type 2 diabetes as well. Like I said, it has many, many benefits. And it's used for a number of viral infection, bacterial infection. But does the color matter? There's the pink and there is a white. The color doesn't really matter. Even though some talk about the periwinkle high and the periwinkle low, it doesn't really matter. But they work pretty much the same, because it's the leaves you're using, not so much the flower.
You know, one of the things we didn't talk about, preparation. Let's go back to the first one. How do you prepare that?
All right, so in herb, just like how you have standard ways of taking, prescription medication, there are standard measurements for taking plant medicine. And when we say standard, this is based on the average weight, because depending on the age, depending on the weight, it may vary, all right? But what we normally do is we get the herb, and back then our ancestors would put it in a mortar and powder it, all right? Now we have magic bullet or we have blenders. So you basically make sure it's dry, and the leaves and the stem is what you use. The leaves and the stem is what you use. So you dry the leaves and the stems, and then you try to get it to a powder form, which is by blending it. And then you take 1 teaspoon to 1 cup boiling water. So you'll get the 1 cup of boiling water, add the 1 teaspoon to it, cover it up with a saucer, let it steep, and then you would strain it and drink it.
That's the leaves. What about the berries?
No, you don't take the berries. It's the leaves you take, leaves and stem.
Okay. All right, and this one here?
The vervain is the same. You would dry it, get it to a powder form, and you would take 1 teaspoon to 1 cup boiling water.
Yeah, hello? And this one? No, you can't call.
No, I'll tell you what me gonna ask, coming on show you, man. Me ask Doc, how often should a woman have sex? And if a woman is not sexually active, what are the consequences?
No, call, ask.
No, man, I'm hearing. We're hearing. Ratty? Yeah, man. I'm saying she's asking how often should a woman have sex?
Yeah.
And what was the next question?
Hold on a second, because I told her to call. Miss
Oh.
Philadelphia, you can't. Oh, there it is. Yes. Miss Philadelphia, turn on your device in the background, please, and then ask the question.
Hold on, please. Yes, it's off.
All right, go ahead. Proceed with the question, please.
Back. Don't laugh at me, though. It's not me. I'm just asking the question.
Okay.
Okay, Doc. How often should a woman have sex? And if the woman is not sexually active, what are the consequences?
Well, there are no consequences that we.
Can you answer?
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Well, what I would say is that the body, naturally the body, because sex is both for procreation and pleasure, right? So it's for procreation and pleasure. So because it's for procreation and pleasure, the only time that I believe it's not proper is during a woman's menstrual cycle. That's when a woman's body is basically on break, it's healing, and and the woman's body is being repaired. So outside of a menstrual cycle, then it's based on how often you want to indulge. In terms of if you don't indulge, there is no physical. Even though I believe personally that for some women, because everybody is different, for some women who don't have it affects them emotionally. So some women tend to be grumpy, some tend to be aggressive, some tend to be tight and stressed. Because the sex is also therapeutic. It also helps you to relax. It helps you to regulate your mood. So for those reasons, but in terms of physical consequences, there are no physical consequences. So that's a decision that you have to arrive at with your partner. But in terms of the menstrual cycle, and if you don't have a menstrual cycle, then that is good, because your body has reached a stage where nature no longer interrupts you from indulging in the pleasurable benefits of intercourse.
Say, Megawatt, say, call if you have it, why not use it before it lock up on you?
Megawatt said that.
Megawatt, mega.
Yeah, man. But it's a, we have demonized sex, and we have made it into something nasty. But it's a wonderful gift that has been given to us, and so we need to take advantage of it as much as we can.
There's a question in which part of the herb is
and Stacey good girl says, well, me lose it long time, Rattigan. Me no
Let me shut up. Are you shut up, man?
She said, long time, Rattigan.
Which one she says that?
Yes, it's on the screen. Well,
never see it.
Yeah. So, I would say, I don't know. You need people around us would need to tell you, how are you in terms of your mood? How are you in terms of your emotional stability? Not that you have to have it, but we do
you know what, Doc? So Dee Marie asked a question. She said, "Why is it that we have no woman on the panel when the subject is about women?"
Should I bring my wife on?
Where she there? Is she there?
She a run, man.
She run, gun. Wife.
Let's get her on next time, man.
No, tell her show her face, man, because the people know I take it out for me now.
You have to go look at this.
I'm poor planning for my part. I hope you have no woman on the panel.
She's just not in a position. She's shy now. My wife very shy now, Rattigan.
Nah, tell them don't worry about the message. Don't worry about the messenger, man. Just focus on the message.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, we should ask. Who said that? Dee Marie. We should ask her. if she's benefiting from the program. That's what she really asking. If she have benefit, you know. Yeah, D Marie, are you learning anything about your body, about yourself, or because if not, so just some women you think who might be able to help. Doc says his wife will be on the next program because she's in no position to come on right now.
Yeah.
But
Ubuntu says my ex-girlfriend says her back hurts when she don't have sex.
so what that mean?
I don't know because
That
as I
means
said,
that you must make sure your back no hurt Ubuntu.
yeah, but I mean, not having sex has no physical penalty. You know, when there's not. But I mean, there's a lot of studies out there, and I don't know if you know anybody who sometimes I say a lot of women who are very moody, who are aggressive, who are tense, and once they have because it's hormone, it's pent up. Sex is also energy. And you know it allows you to release that energy. Once that energy is not released, it's almost as if you have all that energy just pent up inside of you.
Oh, let me say something. Oh, I just deleted. Okay. Somebody was saying that lack of engagement could cause stress.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just confirm that, saying that yes, we have all of this energy.
And that could lead to headache too. And could lead to headache.
Okay.
Megawatt, yeah. I mean, some women it affects them differently. It could lead to that.
All right. And anything else you want to talk about? And I don't say any more herbs. Opa, it's just 3 you said?
Yeah, I just sent 3, but you know I should have because there's a lot more that comes to my mind. Let me see if I can send some more. There's one called cat's tongue. That's another very good herb. It's also from the verbena family. It comes from the same family like vervain. So it can be added to a verbena formulation, and it works very. This herb was used for helping with labor pain because it also and then dog blood can do that too. So for women who are going into labor, because you know you're going into labor, so at that time you would want contraction. So normally, like an hour once the labor pain starts, they would have given them the dog blood, and it helps to contract the womb, so it helps to reduce the pain and helps the woman to go through labor much faster. So I'm gonna send you another one. That's also a herb, and this is also very good for
Doc,
women who are
Doc,
having painful menstrual cycle. Yes.
Doc, may I recommend 2 books for them?
Mm-hmm.
So this one is by Kukuwa Abba.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
Steve.
hold
Yes,
on,
sir.
make sure. All right, let me take out the back. Okay, herbs, yeah. Jamaica herbs. Yeah. And then there's this one. This is by Evelyn Harris.
Mm-hmm. And both of those women are from Portland. I know them personally. They live
Yeah.
right here in Portland. Coco just live right up the road, and Evelyn just live right up near Moortown.
Yeah. So
These
are books where they are very beneficial to have it within the household.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Within the household. So I would recommend, and as Doc says, you know, they're Jamaican born and bred.
Put up the books. Put up the books on again so that they can say it one more time. See the people. Evelyn Harris, Healing Herbs of Jamaica, second edition. And then one is Jamaica Herbs.
Jamaica herbs.
Part of Jamaica Medicinal Herbs. Jamaica Medicinal Herbs.
And the good thing with these books, they have pictures in there, and the whole shebang. And because you're gonna find out that a lot of these herbs have more than one uses, as Doc alluded to. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Somebody from Canada, who is it? Charmian says, what do you recommend to my daughter who experiences severe menstrual pain? So a very good herb, if you're not in Jamaica, is a herb called cramp bark. You can find it. It's grown in North America. It's called cramp bark. And then a very good one is dankwa, because that helps. But nearly all the herbs that we've mentioned, as I said, you can reach out to Chris, 876 Herbs. He distributes a lot of these herbs, and he's in New York, and you can get some of them on Amazon. But these are herbs that work very, very, very well. I've seen person use them, and on many occasions, and there's a certain level of consistency with the results.
Yeah.
That's
And
where-
also
Right.
and also with herbs, one of the things that we need to realize that how the herbs are harvested is very important. So these you want to know that it's being harvested in the best interest of the plant, which will be in the best interest of you who is taking it.
Right.
What
So,
I
so
mean, what I mean,
So-
you know,
All right, so you remember Doc had alluded to plant intelligence.
yeah.
All right. So for example, let's give an example. Let's use like vines. All right. So let's say like sarsaparilla or one. So you ideally want to harvest them before midday because it works with the sun.
Mm.
So midday onwards, the medicine goes back to the root. Not that it lacks medicine, it's just not as potent as if you had done it before
Okay.
midday. All right. And yeah, it's just things like that. So you want to make sure that whoever you're purchasing from is aware of it. And when you're aware of it, even if you can't do it yourself, your farmer is aware of these things. You know what I mean? And so forth.
I say, Megawatt say in the chat say, Jamaican man not read no book about sex, just tell them about front end lifter and tampon long. That you can talk about, you want to comment on tampon long, and I think them have one named bedroom bully and one named front end lifter. I don't know what them things are. Can you explain that?
well, I mean,
You mean the gas
these
station pills?
these there are a lot of herbs, and I mean, a lot of men, take herbs and don't realize that, especially a lot of the herbs that are taken for erection, um, are herbs that can have serious effect on the cardiovascular system. So it's not, it's a lot, and funny, we have men that come to us with prostate issues, serious prostate issues, and they're not even concerned about that. What they're concerned about is their erection. I have one man that came that had in a catheter and was still involved sexually, even with his catheter. I don't know how that worked. But Jamaican men are overly concerned, and don't take their health seriously. But there are a lot of herbs out there that can help. And I don't want to rob the women, because we're going to talk about that when we have the men session. But yes, a lot of men are overly concerned, and they need to understand that anything that can help you can hurt you. So you have to be careful.
Understand, Charmaine say, I Megawatt put up the names in Charmaine. No, about no front end lift and a tampon long and bedroom bully. I don't know nothing about them things there.
Yeah.
I don't know about them.
But
Let me ask you something. For women's issues,
mhm.
is it only about the vagina and the womb?
Yes.
It's only about
and mood and mood.
and mood.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hormones.
Would you, let's say, so I would take it in that when a woman is moody, is that different from when a man is moody?
Yes, yes.
And what if a woman is moody? How would you approach the issue? I think I know the answer, but how would you approach it?
All right. So a lot of women who are moody tend to have hormonal issues, and so the hormonal issues go beyond them having a desire for sex. It's much more than that, because women are more hormonally controlled. So if it is that they're having hormonal mood issues, we want to look and again age comes into play, because you know that the older the woman gets when she reaches the menopause, because of the hormonal changes, she tends to have mood swings and that other thing. And so again, what we would do is that we would seek to, because as a woman, our hormones are changing. What's happening is that the estrogen is decreasing, and the body is not yet accustomed to that decreased production. And so what we do is that we would find plants that have the equivalent or the closest resemblance to the woman hormone is plant-based. So we would get herbs that have those hormones. For example, estrogen. So we would recommend herbs that are high in estrogen to the woman at that point, and then that basically helps to balance out their hormone and balance out their mood.
What is, in your practice, what is the most common issues with the ladies?
The most common issues with women,
Mm-hmm.
urinary tract infection, and then infertility. No, fibroids, sorry. So urinary tract infections, fibroids, then infertility. Those are the three main issues. And then at the back now, you will have menopausal problems.
Mm-hmm. And because I see where with urinary tract, I see them advertise a lot on TV, all kind of powders and all kind of potions, and say you take this and you're good to go. Do you have any faith in those products? First of all, are you aware of those products? And if you are,
you mean for men or for women?
It's a good question. I thought it was. I thought that the commercial I saw that a man and a woman.
You mostly don't have a commercial for women. Most of the commercial are geared towards men.
Why is that? You have any idea why?
Because for women, for men, it's mostly due to physical factors why the man can't engage. For women, it's not. It's more like an emotional issue. So because it's a physical factor for men, most of the products are geared towards that physical dysfunction.
Mm.
Because I mean, a woman basically just has to be aroused. She don't have to focus on an erection. But for the man, for him to perform, even if he's aroused, it's possible for him not to have an erection, physical erection. So that's what is focused on a lot.
Mm.
Yeah. D. Marie says, what about endometriosis? And I would say, what about it? Endometriosis is a condition in which the lining of the uterus is being eroded or being damaged by bacteria. Very painful. And somebody asked a question about douching, and this is where herbal douching with herbs can be a good option. But again, I said you have to be guided, because there are herbs that don't work so well when you take them orally, but when they are inserted vaginally, then you get a better experience. But as I said, if it's not done properly, you can do more harm than good.
The women, there's some women that could, and I'm. This is not from personal experience. This is just from what I've heard. That some of these women, they said they've given up the pleasures of this world for a life in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jesus and them boyfriend. They don't need no man. I'm sure you've heard it too.
Yeah, man. One at a
Yeah.
time.
Are those women delusional, or does it, in your estimation, since you've seen
But,
them?
but Sir Rattigan, with the paternity fraud in Jamaica, you have to find out who Jesus is.
In your Jesus.
A lot of times, if sex comes with a lot of responsibility. And so if a woman find that she can contain, then she would be doing, she would be sparing herself a lot of emotional and other trouble. But a lot of women use that as a way of denying or coping with their reality, because nowhere in the scripture says that the Savior wants to be used in such way. That's why he gave us a man. That's why he made man. He made man to serve that purpose. So that and a matter of fact, sometimes it's married women or women who have partners who say that too.
Mm.
So
Hey,
that's
quick
when it's
question,
even
Doc.
more dangerous.
Quick question, Doc. According to Charmaine, GNL, right? She says she wants to touch on cancer, uterus, breast, and fibroids, because women experience a lot of like fibroids issues and all this stuff from at alarmingly young age to 20s and up. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I would say that especially for ovarian uterine cancer, it's one of the cancers that is, if not, I think it's the only cancer. I may be wrong, but it may be the only cancer that is 100% preventable. And it takes about 10 years to develop. So when a woman has uterine cancer, it's really an indication of being careless, because for something to take 10 years to develop and for something to be 100% preventable, how do you end up with uterine cancer? And I said to persons, it's very important for women to do early detection, to go and to do their pap smears, especially when you reach a certain age, especially if you know that you're from a particular bloodline where these cancers are high. It's very important. A lot of the breast cancers, however, are the result of, again, too much estrogen. Too much estrogen. And as I say, it doesn't affect women alone, it affects men. There's a lot of women who have breast cancer, and the reason for that is because of the amount of synthetic estrogen that is found in foods and found in skincare products and hair care products. I mean, you'd be amazed how much of it is out there. So it's important to check. And then there is the cancers related to like the human papilloma virus. As I said, it's important to do regular screening, and we can't emphasize that because usually when the cancer is detected very early, there's a high possibility and a strong likelihood that it can be neutralized. So it's very important to check regularly.
Hey, look, we have comedy over rolling. Look at the first Mama say regarding the women who have chosen a life of celibacy and waiting for Christ. Mama said that's why some of them go crazy. and then right here we say, see good girl Barnabas, Rattigan, we're tired of them rubbish man there. So God will not fail. And then right down here we see where Mr. Megawatt I mean, in my shock out tonight and the van farm. If the Stacey good girl Barnaby, you're meeting these men at the wrong place. You must go to the laundromat.
Right? Go to the laundromat.
Yes, Stacey, you don't want me to what the laundromat. Don't follow megawatt here.
Yeah. So this herb that we're looking at on the screen, it's called cat's tongue, and it's from the same vervain family. All right, same family that vervain comes from. And as I said, it's used and it can be used and should be used along with vervain. It's used a lot for women who have painful menstruation. So you drink it a week before the menstrual cycle. And so I would love for some women to try it, or if anybody has ever it's not bitter. If anybody ever taken it, they can share with us what has been their experience. But a lot of women that I've worked with, share it with them, and it grows wild, and they just take it before their menstrual cycle, and they say, "Listen to me, no pain." I had a friend who used to say, "Man, she that's the thing she hated about being a woman." And when I introduced it to her, she said, "Man, it was like the period coming, you wouldn't even know that it came." So this is a very good herb for that.
You mentioned something that they can get these herbs over the counter, Amazon.
Yeah, as I said, Chris carries a lot of them. Chris carries
Chris,
a lot of them.
big up the thing though, Chris, man. Let the people them know which part of the land or them can get them things.
You're muted.
Yeah, 876produce.com. Also, it's a website, so it's very curated, for lack of a better word. But I do bring up a lot of stuff on a wholesale level also. So a lot of these things that you may not find them on the website, but you can reach me in there. You can reach me via phone and whatnot. Because I'm in Jamaica on average every other month, I can get these things to you. You know what I mean? And yeah. So the number is 347-475.
I was telling Opal to put up your details.
Yeah.
So that people can reach out.
Hold on. According to Tasha, let me talk up. Because I don't know,
It won't come up if you type it.
Something beat me up over the weekend, so.
Okay, so there it is. Tasha
I'm healing.
Oh, there it is, people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that not tell Mega up on a roll tonight,
Yeah, man.
Somebody said to Mega that Mega said one thing a doctor can't prescribe is where to find good men. And then Stacey good girl Barnaby, man a laundromat, now have no woman, and them clothes clean.
Yeah, so these are herbs that really help women. So one of the things I say to women is, pay attention to your menstrual cycle. Another thing is that sometimes when you start to develop like ovarian cysts, it's one of the early signs. You start to have missed cycle, so the cycle becomes irregular. And usually cysts, all of these are indication that the womb needs cleaning. So people say to me, I need to do a detox, and I'm saying like which one, because there are so many types of detoxification. There are so many parts of the body that can be detoxified, and the womb is one of those areas. So you don't wait until sometimes, just like when we used to wait until summer to do a colonic cleanse. Some of these cleanses can be done routinely, so you don't have to wait until there is a crisis for you to do it. You can do it once every 3 months or twice every 3 months, just to ensure that everything is working well.
Doc, I have a question for you and young Chris, actually. And I think you have discussed a part of this question. But let me go to the question. If you have somebody, a female who is being treated by a doctor for a particular female concern, just name it. The question somebody once asked you was whether they should come off of the medical doctor's prescription and recommendation and then come to you and have you start treating them. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you said that no, we should never abandon your primary care doctor.
Right, right.
Yeah,
You shouldn't do anything without consulting your primary care physician. So your primary care physician should be somebody who you're comfortable with. So that's why I say the person, if you have a primary care physician who is not accommodating to your personal beliefs as it relates to healthcare, then maybe you
Find
should think
somebody
about
else.
choosing a different primary healthcare physician that you're comfortable with, because you should have a healthcare physician who you're not comfortable telling, hey, I'm taking these herbs, or hey, I'm taking that, because you shouldn't be taking it or doing anything without consulting your healthcare provider. So the healthcare provider that you say, okay, this is my primary care physician, should be something that should be somebody who you're comfortable with, and that person, you should be comfortable enough to say to them, this is what I'm doing, this is what I believe should be a part of my healthcare program. And if you're not comfortable, you need to find somebody who is comfortable, so that when you find somebody who you're comfortable with, you can say, hey doc, I heard about this herb named dog blood. I'm thinking about taking it. What are your views? You shouldn't be afraid to say it to them and to say, oh, they're not gonna believe you, so I'm not tell them nothing. Because guess what happens? They may have you on a program, they may have you on a treatment where that herb, it may not hurt you, but what it can do is that it can reduce the effectiveness of what he's giving to you. So sometimes it's not necessarily that it's going to hurt you, but sometimes it can reduce the effectiveness of what you are getting, and maybe what you are getting is a program that is dealing with a crisis that you're having. So it's very important that you communicate with your healthcare provider.
Under what conditions would you tell a young lady to go and seek traditional medical
Western medicine
advice? Yeah, she comes to you. Right? She doesn't have a primary care doctor. She comes to you for whatever. What circumstances would dictate that you say to her, look, I'm not the person for you. You need to go and see a medical.
All right, so very good question, because we do have medical doctors that we work with. So for example, if that woman needs to do a physical examination, because persons who do natural medicines are not supposed to do any type of, what's the word now, invasive procedure, right? So no type of invasive procedure. So at no time, you should say, well, I need to check to see if there's anything vaginally that's happening. No, that's not your job. That's your health, that's your medical doctor's area. Also, if the person needs to do certain blood works or certain, or even to be diagnosed, then you need to send her to the medical doctor, because a naturopath cannot diagnose. Even if from experience you have a very good idea as to what's happening, to get a diagnosis, you must send her to their primary care physician. And there are a number of other mostly invasive procedures. You need to send them to their healthcare provider. For diagnosis, you will need to send them to their healthcare provider. And for some assessments, you would need to send them to their healthcare provider. And sometimes, to get a second opinion on something that you suspect, you need to send them to their primary care physician.
No, here's a problem. The problem is that given the state of medicine, given the state of economy in Jamaica, a lot of these people cannot afford to go get a second opinion or go see a doctor who will go to the public hospital, where they're going to refer to a friend who have the devices for do the scanning and all that stuff. So she comes, and have a limited amount of funds, and she said, Doc, watch out, I have this problem and I want you to deal with it, because we don't have the money for going nowhere else. Weigh that alcohol, you take a chance and say, all right, I'm not supposed to do this, I'll do it. Or do you just say, you know what? You're going to have to go, no matter how you slice it, you're going to have to go do the blood work or go
Well,
to
the correct thing to do is to send them to send them to a primary care physician, whether it be in a clinic where it can be free, because they don't have to have money to go to the clinic. Money is only needed when you go to the private doctor. So if you go to the clinic or go to the hospital, you don't need money.
Yeah.
All right,
And
but we make it difficult. One second, one second, Chris. We make it difficult then. She come to you and she not peeing and she said that we can't go sit down and wait 2 days to see a doctor. I'm here in front of you right now.
Mhm.
I need help.
No, as I said, depending on what the condition is. If it so and I know circumstances. For example, if the woman needs a physical examination, and I know circumstances, can you do that? So if it is outside of your scope, you have to recommend it. Once it's out of your scope, it's not whether you want to help or not, it's just outside of your scope of your work. And I mean, there are persons who can and will, but if it's a family member, then that's a little bit different. If it's a very close friend, that's different. But if it's especially a client, and in no circumstances you go outside, because here's what happened. Most of the time you get yourself into trouble is when you're trying to help.
when they're trying to come out of your lane. So actually, Sir Rattigan, the quote unquote difficult question was actually the easiest, because if she's in pain and whatnot, she definitely need that's the benefit of modern medicine. You know? It's fast.
Yeah, it has its place, definitely.
It has its place, it's fast. And if you're under that level of pain, you're not going to have the patience to go the natural route either. Because the natural route in most instances is slow, but it's short. You understand?
Right.
And so everything has its place. So, because remember, what we're trying to do, this is the society we live in. We're just trying to create balance, harmony. Just like what Nicola had said. We have to work with the environment that is on. Western medicine has its place. And we're just trying to work in conjunction. We're just trying to carve out our space within that realm. So under those circumstances, definitely, whether she have to borrow the money, whatever she has to do, but if she's at the point of that level of pain too, she need medical.
Right. Tasha M was asking a question about can minor daughters use it. I don't know what she's alluding to. If it is which are the herbs she's alluding to.
Hold on. Ask her. Let's just ask her.
Yeah, so she would have to be clear on
Charmin,
that.
can you ask?
But
or can somebody remind us?
Right.
While we have to get that out, Charmin, I have a question. She said, first time learning about wound cleanse. Is it too late for me? Doctor, can you talk about the different cleanse?
All right. So the womb cleanse is a formulation. It's actually when you say compound means that there are different herbs that have been combined as a formula. So that's what the womb cleanse is. It's a cocktail of herbs that have been formulated, that have been used for years by midwives and by female herbalists, and it's geared towards helping women. As I said, it's primarily geared towards removing unpassed out pieces of the placenta, but it's also used to tone the womb and to detoxify the womb and to prepare it for pregnancy again. And so it's a womb cleanse. It cleanses the womb, right? And when we talk about it helps with for menstrual cramp. Now, which herb are you talking to?
It was the last herb.
This one, huh?
The cat's tongue.
No, not that.
This one, huh?
No, that's the vervain.
That one. Cat's tongue.
No.
Yeah, the cat's tongue.
Go back.
When she's having a menstrual cycle.
This one.
Yeah. So it can, once she's having a menstrual cycle, that herb will help alleviate the discomfort associated with a menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will help. Once she's having a menstrual cycle, that herb will help. So taking it a week before, all right, not during the menstrual cycle, because of how it works, it would have her, it would cause her to bleed heavily and may become anemic. So she has to take it going into the cycle. So it's preparing her body for the cycle. So and by the way, it helps to thin the blood as well, which is why it helps, because as I said, a lot of the time when women are having babies, having periods, it's usually the clot. You ever notice why most women, after they have their first child, those terrible pain stop, all right? And it's because of the clot that's coming down. So
Talk to us about the other cleanses. Can you talk about the womb cleanse? Is there any other cleanse that a woman should be made aware of?
That's unique to woman. A womb cleanse is maybe the only one that's unique to a
Yeah.
woman. Somebody's asking, what can women take to reduce symptoms of menopause? Well, any herb that has high level of estrogen. So any herb that has high level of estrogen. So we have like black what is there is woman piaba, which is grown here in Jamaica. But outside of Jamaica, there is black coash, there's blue coash, there is what is herb name again? Fenugreek. So any herb that, if you research it, any herb that has high levels of estrogen will help with the symptoms associated with menopause.
The people in the phone line still open, we have about a half hour to go. We're not hearing. I thought we'd be getting some calls from the ladies, but we're not hearing from them. Miss Philadelphia, you're the only one I think, and Miss P.
Yeah, so before they were medical doctors, they were bush doctors. So I mean, plant medicine has been around for millennia, and Western medicine started out with the medicines being made of plants. So there were all Western medicine were really plant based until they developed ways to synthesize them. Do you sell boiled herbs? So we do have some, and that's limited to Jamaica. So we don't ship yet products outside, but we do have persons that can get it available to you. But here in Jamaica, we do have a number of decoctions or herbal compounds.
Yeah.
So what is a woman compound? Well, a herbal compound is really a combination of herbs that are formulated to help with a particular condition. So once it has more than one herb, it's called a herbal compound. Says Doctor, so womb cleanse is only for women still having periods. Yes. So so the womb cleanse that we have is mostly for women who are having infertility issues or having a period. My baby, my only child, rolls and cry. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. So all right. So she's asking what herbs are good for body acne. Again, with the body acne, you want to find out what is the cause, because
Okay.
most acne is caused by the pores being blocked, the sebaceous gland is inflamed. So you want to look, and usually that's caused by the type of food that we eat. So before we talk about even taking any type of remedy, you want to look at the habits and the lifestyle that would contribute to that. So you want to remove sometimes high sugars. You want to remove that, and sometimes increasing water intake, and just doing what we call it now, intermittent fasting, drinking more green juice, because the skin is a reflection of what's happening in the blood. So when you want the skin to look nice and pretty, you have to focus on the state of the blood. So usually what's happening on the skin is an indication of what's happening in the blood. So yes, you're seeing it on the skin, but that's not where the problem is. That's where the symptoms are. The root of the problem is in the blood. So you wanna detoxify the blood. And with Ratty asked me about the different detox, and there are different types of detox. One of them, of course, is detoxifying the blood. And one way that we detoxify the blood, because the blood is 70% plasma fluid. So increasing water intake is one way that you detoxify. Sweating is another way that you detoxify. So even going into a sauna, if you can, sweating does a lot. But then there are, for the blood, most herbs that are bitter are usually blood cleansers. So what you want to do is you want to increase your bitters or your bitter herbs. So herbs like rice bitters, herbs like majo bitters, herbs like bitter wood. These are herbs that help to purify the blood. So you want to focus on purifying the blood to help the skin. Cerasee. Somebody said cerasee, yeah. Yeah, cleanse the blood. So Stacey is saying that her daughter has acne. Her daughter and her daughter's father have acne. Genetics plays a role in causing it to be genetically what's the word now? More likely. Doesn't mean that it has to be. So all genetic does is that it increases the likelihood. And so it's not an excuse. Even though you may be genetically likely, that information is good because you can now know how to work around that. But yes, genetics does play a role. And so if that is the case, because for example, like Indians, a lot of Indians you'll notice tend to have oily skin, tend to have acne, tend to have those issues. So there are certain skin types that are more susceptible to skin conditions than other skin types. So yes, genetic has a role to play. But then again, it all goes back to the type of lifestyle, the type of food that we eat that causes that predisposition, that determines what happens with that predisposition. Ingrown hair. What about bitter crystals? I don't know about bitter crystals.
Doc, is there any of the herbs that you're talking about is good for allergy, especially severe allergy? Yeah, I know there's seasonal allergy, and some perfume might be a trigger to some people and so on. But what can be done to curtail allergy problems?
Well, allergy is the result of triggers. The body produces certain chemical in response to exposure to certain triggers, and so there's what we call antihistamines, because histamines are what causes us to have allergic reactions. And there's a herb that is very good that is an antihistamine, and that is a herb called nettles. If you notice, whenever nettles touch your skin, you have an instant reaction, right? Whenever the nettle touches skin. So there are compounds in the nettles that are antihistamine. So most of the cold medicine that you see, the natural antihistamine found in all cold medicine used to come from nettles until they synthetically developed antihistamines. So a very good source for allergies is nettles, because it's loaded with antihistamines. And then from that, now you can research other antihistamine plants, because there are other plants out there, but nettles may be one of the most known and also one of the most easily available. Another thing is that you also want to pay attention to potentially what can be the triggers. Can be food related, it can be something in an environment, it can be pet related. You want to find and know what are your triggers. The food can include dairy or it can include gluten. There are a lot of persons that have gluten intolerance and don't know. And there are a lot of persons who don't even know what gluten is found in. And so they may be partaking of foods that have high amount of gluten in it that is causing what looks like allergic reactions, but is actually gluten intolerance. So you have to look on sometimes get a notebook and pay attention to what affects you and how it affects you. And I'm not hearing Ratty. I think she's saying something.
Hello? Hello? I think she shut up. Somebody's asking about neem bush.
Yeah, neem is also another herb that's good for cleansing the blood. So bitters. That helps to cleanse the blood as well.
Is there like an overall tonic for good health?
If they're overall tonic, what would I say now? If there's an overall tonic, it would have to be a food. And maybe one of the most nutritious food out there is sea moss.
Yeah,
Because-
somebody had asked a question about it earlier. Oh no, they're asking about how they were asking the question of Nicola.
Yeah, when Nicola was talking about
Yeah, they were asking about sea
natural
moss, yeah.
fertilizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so in terms of if there was a miracle herb out there, I would say moringa is one of them, and I would say sea moss.
Now sea moss, how should it be prepared? Because the way that I grew up watching it being prepared.
Soak it. Because so you wash it, soak it and then just blend it and add all of what you want to it. If you want to add nutmeg, because it's raw, you might want to add stuff that will help to mask the rawness. But it's best to prepare it, not boiling it, but by soaking
That's how I grew up preparing it, but by boiling. And then you
No, so
vanilla and all of them things.
you can, Sir Rattigan, you can literally, because when you boil it, you're also killing the nutrients too.
Yeah.
You can, the same purpose of boiling water, you can use regular water and you just leave it overnight. It has the same effect. It's just slow. It's just a slower process. It gets slimy just the same.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then as you said, you as Dr. Ben says, you
blend
it. You can modify the taste as you desire.
Yeah.
So if you want to put pineapple in it, you want to do this, whatnot.
Cinnamon
So,
or lemon or whatever you want.
But I usually recommend to my clients, listen, if you have the time, and it doesn't take a lot of time, buy the raw sea moss, make sure it's the good ones. Then all you do is you just need lime, water. You prepare it normally, you wash it, you put it in a vat of water. And please try to avoid plastic, just in general, as much as you can. So Pyrex are usually a good investment that people should make in their kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Glass is our friend. All right. And
so when you blend it, do you blend it with the water? You just put it inside. You take it out of the water and then you just throw it in the blender.
No, man, the water is part of the thing, man. The water part of the juice, man. Because you don't want to get to that slippery something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you use that to thing there, and because if it's too thick, it's gonna have you won't get that smooth. It's gonna come out more as pellets, and some people are big on texture. So you don't want that. You want it to be so the texture. You just want it to be smooth, because you can do sea moss in you're making your tea. You can just take a spoon and just throw it in your tea, dissolves it. You go about your day. It's something that you can put in any and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can use it to make soup too, So
Yeah.
there's so many ways to
Because Doc and I are working on because you know you're living in America, you don't know. It's convenient. So Doc and I are working on a line of tinctures and extracts because we want a case whereby our people are taking the medicine, however convenient. So you're working in the hospital, you know the time at some different hours. So we want a case whereby you're having your meal, you can have you have your tincture or your extract, your ginger extract or your soursop or whatever. Or you can just add it to whatever you're drinking to reap the benefits. You know, you don't have to be at work making steeping tea and all of that stuff. We're not saying it's a one is not better than the other. We're just trying to make it as convenient for you as possible.
Somebody Buja put in the thing. How do you know which CMOS is the good one? Because it says not you've mentioned something that's the good one.
Yeah. So you're gonna find out so that for the CMOS, you Jamaica, the Caribbean is usually good to St. Lucia, right? Because the Chinese are manufacturing them, you know, in mass, en masse. You don't want that. And
When you
the
say
sad thing about
manufacturing, what do you mean? It's not natural CMOS, they're making it.
making it. Mr. Chin, the anything in a sir again. Mr. Chin,
Mhm.
Mr. Chin, a different level about it. You know, so and to be honest with you, and I don't want to come on the program and I don't want to create you really will not know. It's just the benefits that you're gonna see after. It has a more of a rubbery texture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like how they were making eggs a few years back and all sort of things. So I would, to be on the safe side, I would stick to places that have it in abundance naturally. Jamaica, St. Lucia. That's your best bet to get the good thing then. And there
Yeah.
are different types of it. You have purple sea moss, you have the I don't want to say clear, but
The
that's you.
gelatinous one. You have
Yeah,
the fine one. You know,
yeah.
and somebody asked which one is the best one. It really depends on
And the purpose
the
of what you're trying to use it for.
right. And somebody said that people have thyroid problems, and yes, depending on the type of thyroid issue you have, because CMOS is very high in iodine, which is one of the things that you don't want if you have certain thyroid conditions. So you would need to stay away from it. But then
Yeah, I think
again, certain persons who are low in iodine, if their
can take it.
condition is, they benefit from it.
And for CMOS, you can take things for thyroid, you can take things like bladderwrack. Is bladderwrack? Is it bladderwrack?
Yeah, bladder.
Bladderwrack
Um,
and things of that nature.
sea vegetables on a whole. There's a number of
Yeah.
sea vegetables. Shiitake. No, that's a mushroom. Kelp. That's another good. So sea vegetables on a whole.
Mhm.
What about black Stacey good girl put a question. What about black seed oil?
Black seed oil is used to fight inflammation, so it's anti-inflammatory. So yeah, if you're having inflammation, that's something that you can partake of. So last year. Yeah, so you just have to be vigilant in terms of,
Yeah.
as Chris said, knowing the source that you get your products from. Because there's a lot of unscrupulous people out there. Stacey said, I eat CMOS and I give it to my family, even my baby. Yeah, so it's safe enough, even for baby to consume it.
Yeah. Like my son loves it. He's 4 years old. He loves it. When I make the smoothie with it, he loves it. My daughter was 8, hate it. She can't she can't do what it is.
The raw flavor.
I don't even know. He has a natural tendency to like those stuff, and she doesn't.
Show me a question. I'm now having dark spots on both cheeks. What am I lacking? How can I get rid of them?
Well, that's a symptom, and we can't tell you what, because you have to go and you have to check, because so many things that can cause dark spots. Could be issues with your vitamin E, could be issues with your diet in that you're eating certain foods that is causing that flare up. I mean, there are just so many. So it's that's why again, this is where medical doctors come in, because what they do is that they help with diagnosis, and then once it's diagnosed properly and you know what you are dealing with, then you come and you tell us that, okay, I'm having black rash. You will come and say, okay, I have black rash and it has been diagnosed and so on and so. Then when you tell us, then that's when we can better help you.
The idea of fish. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine the other day, and we're talking about wild caught as opposed to farm raised. And well, you can't really tell because just because it says wild caught, that doesn't mean
it was naturally grown.
Right, you don't know that, right?
Yeah, because when a Jamaica biggest producer of fish, you know where they grow the fish in the ocean. But they have huge holding, they're big, huge containments in the ocean. And the fish are grown in the natural ocean, but they're not given natural feeding. So it helps them in being consistent in their yield and consistent in their harvesting. But guess what? These fish didn't fend for themselves and eat what the ocean had. They were fed man-made food, medicated food. And so sometimes not because something is grown and in the wild or is grown a particular way, mean that it's natural. Natural means there's a legal definition for organic, a legal definition for natural, which is different from natural.
And we don't talk enough about parasites and seafood. So we are what we eat, literally. And the oceans are polluted also. So if you are a pescatarian or whatnot, you basically consume a lot of seafood. One of the things that you should look into also is periodically doing like a detox, because they have a lot of toxins in it that over time will have adverse effect on your body. So not to scare you, all we're just saying is that if you have a diet that primarily consists of seafood and whatnot, you want to rid your body of some of these toxins on a scheduled basis.
Yeah. I think Leprechaun is asking, what's the best thing for hair loss or best for growth of hair? Well, the best product, the best herb out there is a herb called evening primrose. Evening primrose oil, very good. If you don't want hair to grow on your face or anywhere, don't use evening primrose oil. It's helpful in growing back scalp hair, any type of hair loss.
What's the name of it, Doc?
Evening primrose.
Because me tell you, you see that beard there? Stubborn. You see me?
Yeah. So evening primrose is very good for that. Evening primrose oil.
Oh, okay.
Doc, with everything I've heard, so Ty asked a question. I'll come to my question. Ty asked, what is good for eye floaters?
I don't know. I've never heard about eye floaters.
But when you start to see things
like the dancing, like
you
know what? Like a jellyfish.
Yeah,
like
I don't work a lot on eyes, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't work a lot on eyes.
No, Doc, with everything I've heard.
Doreen is saying, Evelyn, it's evening.
Evelyn Primrose.
Primrose oil. Evening primrose oil.
Here's the thing, Doc. When I listen to you and I listen to Nicola and I listen to Chris and I listen to a whole bunch of food experts, nutritionists, doctors, herbalists, everybody, people involved in the agriculture sector, you almost don't want to eat, if you really care about your health. Because when you hear about, like when you just mentioned, so them grow the fish, there are schools of fish out of the ocean, but they're in a container. And them
Mm-hmm.
don't do the thing with normal fish would have done.
Mm-hmm.
But them can say it's wild caught because it's out
Yes.
there, but never really, it was always in captivity.
Mhm.
And then when you look at how they fertilize the food and what they're using, insecticide,
Mm-hmm.
pesticide, herbicide, all these poisons and toxins. Where is food security in your estimation? And this is a question I pose to both of you.
You know, I would say, food security. We live in a world that is, for the most part, um, a capitalist society, and so food and water is heading towards scarcity. That's going to be the new gold. Food and water is going to be the new gold, and so that is the reason why we're saying that your health is your responsibility. We can't leave something as important as food to complete strangers. In other words, we're going in your belly, for complete strangers. I myself is doing that right now, and when I'm making a shift, in maybe the next 3 years or so, I won't be available. I won't be available like this because I'm making some decisions where even my phone, I'm not gonna have my phone all the time. My phone is going to be at a place where I will go to access it within certain hours of the days, and outside of those hours, that phone is not where I am. So, in terms of as you get older, your body get weaker. So things that you could do when you're young and get away with, as you get older, you can't. So I intend to be in a position where I will I will be growing 100% of the food that I and my family eat. And part of that is also that I intend to deviate from the commercially grown or commercially defined vegetables to going back to those plants that are more intelligent, because as you get older, your system gets weaker. And so I will need that intelligence to help me more than now. And so where it is going really is where we have to now take, the only way to be sure as to what is going inside you is to, as much as is possible, grow it for yourself. And if that's too much of a hard work, because to some people that's hard work, it's then you're gonna have to just live with the consequences of whatever happens to you. So, but food security is heading in direction where it's food, especially good food, is heading in the direction of scarcity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're heading.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to even add to that, because it's true. Um, there's where it's going based on capitalism is that the wealthy are always going to eat well, right?
Mhm.
And the masses will not, because one of the first thing you learn in business school is that, listen, if you want to get wealthy, sell to the poor. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yes. So they are always going to be fine. And there is the fact of the matter is there's an agenda at hand for a controlled population, you know, for that's outside of the realms of my understanding. So I'm not even going to try and pretend. I can only look at things that I've seen, right? I can't tell you the reason behind it. But if you can grow as much of your food as possible, do it. The more control you have, the better.
Hmm.
The better.
I wanna I wanna share something. Take a look at this. before we go, I was talking to somebody about this. They're talking about develop the water security in Jamaica, and that they're gonna do this and they do that. And I said before, and I'll say it again. How many people knew that Jamaica had desalination, and it's a development of desalination plants? And they have one already. They have one. They said they're gonna expand a desal plant that they had at Moses Lake. You never hear what that place there?
No.
Here it is right here. So when we talk about water, I'm gonna keep focusing on this because I don't know about this thing here. See there? This. And here it is. This will begin with the upgrading and expansion of the ferry desalination project, which will seek to harness up to whatever that MGD is at the Rocky Fresh Springs at Moses Lake. Nobody, and I've been asking people who don't know about this, and people can't give me an answer.
Well, it says the ferry desalination, so, and they mention rear cover basin. So that sounds like St. Catherine side. That's definitely St. Catherine. But you know what? As we have always said, yeah, Jamaica don't have a water problem, we have a water distribution problem.
The water management problem.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think with where the world is heading, it would be foolish for us not to further develop our desalination plants. The problem I have with it is this: who is going to pay for it? Because the Chinese will pay for it, but at what cost? And these are things that I don't understand, like like the highway, for example, or just things in general. Like sometimes the government forget that them can raise like bonds and them things for projects. Like we the people can pay for it and get a profit later. You know what I mean? It almost make it seem like it's a foreign idea or it's whatnot. Like we the people can pay.
The idea what them say, pay for it now and you get your profit later.
Yeah.
I think the pay for it now piece is more likely to happen. The second piece, you get your profit later. I don't trust them with that. See somebody says the phone said, they're gonna chop it. They're gonna chop it. Doreen, it sounds like the Saudi project, this desal plant, because I'm asking everybody about, even last night I was on a platform and I was asking 2 politicians about desal plants if they know anything about it, and one of them said that years ago they had a discussion about it, but that was it. It didn't go beyond a discussion. And here they said that they're going to expand and upgrade one that exists at Moses Lake, and I never hear about this. And when people, if you Google Moses Lake, it go and send you to a place out in Washington State. So I don't know. Anybody who know about this plant, this desal plant or any desal plant in Jamaica, please help me out. Put it in the chat. Give me a call. Something. Doc, Elaine, I have a question. Please advise our female.
It says Wikimapia. I've never even heard of this. It says it Caymanas Lagoon, Moses Lake, a vast natural wetland located in the Caymanas estates.
So all right. So where is the desal plant?
I thought they said that it was near the cement company because it was built to basically produce water to cool down the electricity.
Put it up again.
No, remember I tell you, so it says ferry, and one that is St. Catherine side. So
yeah, but here it is. It says more specifically, this will begin with the upgrading and expansion. So it exists already.
Yeah, but you alluded to that last week.
Yeah.
What I would do if I were you, I would speak to someone who probably had intimate knowledge of the Mike and Manley era politics because this sounds like a socialist act, trying
Hold
to be
on. You know
trying to
when
be
this,
self-sufficient.
right? You know what this is? This is in the JLP manifesto of 2020. So me go right because the water, the whole water structure and plans, all of this is in the office of the Prime Minister. So I'm going to do an ATI tonight. I'm going to send an ATI to them and ask them, please tell me where we have all of these desal plants. That's the best way. So I'm going to deal with that. And at midnight. All right, here we know. We're gonna shut it down now. So you wanna lead we off, Chris?
Ladies, take care of yourselves. Somebody mentioned, how did they do a
breast exam?
Yeah, you can Google it, but this is you just literally search for lumps.
Swap
Right?
the area so your hand can move freely.
Yeah.
And use the inner part of your fingers to feel for any lump or hard any hard mass inside the breast, basically.
Yeah. So that's what I'll say. But yeah, it was a good. What we'll try to do next week is we're gonna try to get, as you said, Doc's wife there, so we can have a balance thing next week, right? And yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah,
My pleasure. My pleasure. Doc.
Yeah, blessings, yeah, man. So it was another good show. Glad to be here. If reach out to Sean, anybody. I'm coming to Florida in February. Yeah, just for a brief, so if there's anybody who I can connect with, then reach out to Sean Lennon and connect with him and see how we can cross path. As I said that, the whole idea is just to get people, tonight was very interactive, and that's what we want. We want persons to ask questions, because when you ask one question, when the answer is given, it benefits so many more persons. So thank you again for having us, Ratty, and thanks for everybody who took the time out of their busy schedule to be on with us tonight.
Yeah, want to thank both of you and the young lady there, Nicola, for joining us. Yeah, it was quite informative, and we're going to have her on a Saturday program so she can talk about things, because it's important for people to listen and learn. Like I said, she's not coming from a textbook. I'm sure she has some textbook experience, but most of her experience, it sounds like practical experience, where she goes out into these communities and she observes what's going on, and it's not nice. We're poisoning our land and we're poisoning ourselves.
Especially we don't have the healthcare system to facilitate that. We don't have it.
Right. And I just want to close by telling people that Mr. Wyman contacted me during this program and to let me know that we have to give you the format for Saturday. I'm saying I want to play one tune. I want to play 20 minutes or so each person, and I agree with that. We need one tune. It's to this joint. It don't make any sense. And that's whatnot. So everybody tune in on Saturday. And again, Saturday I'm going to show you how to rob the government. I don't know how many of you will be able to do it, but I will show you how it's been done. And so, you can take your cue from that. But just keep in mind, when you rob the government, you're actually robbing yourself and the community and the people. Just keep that in mind. So while I'm showing you how to rob the government, I don't want you to rob the government. I want you to understand how it has been done and how they're doing it still, so that you can call it out yourself, or you can make an informed decision about it. So tune in on Saturday. Exciting program, great music. And last but not least, where is it? Ubuntu said, how are you having a desal plant inland? He's right. I lived and I worked in the Middle East for years, and all of the desal plants I saw, they're on the shore. It converts salt water into potable water. So why would you have a desal plant in a brackish area in a ferry Why not put it out of Hellshire, put it on the coastline where you have seawater, an abundance of seawater. You just convert that, you know. But we'll talk about that another time. So go ahead. Can't hear you.
Somebody says it's at Rockford, the power plant at Rockford, JPS.
Yeah, but you wouldn't use a diesel plant for that. You don't want diesel plant to get drinking water, not for power plant, not for
Cool.
No, that's a thing there.
Yeah, if you talk about hydroelectricity, you put that up fish part of the river them demand. You put that upstream or something like that. But if you're gonna talk about water for convert salt water to drinking water, fresh water, you don't want that. You don't want that for power plant or cement. No, you want that for people, you know. So
you know what, and yeah, the brackish water, because based on what this thing is telling me, Cayman as a state, that would be brackish water.
That's what, and the thing actually, it says it right here. It says it is from the brackish Ferry Springs at Moses Lake. Why would I want that? That makes no sense. That sounds like what we call a boondoggle. That sounds like again a chopping mechanism. That's what that is. So
like somebody that have the land and then they want it for their own purpose and them just usher that in.
Well, Bambino says it's at Rockford Power Station. Yeah, at the JPS. No, Bambino, anybody who tells them about diesel plant or run a power station, no buy that. No buy that. No buy that. You do a diesel plant to convert salt water into fresh water so people can bathe and drink and cook with. That's the whole purpose of a diesel plant. But that's another story for another day. So, gentlemen, people in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. I hope that this program was a benefit to you. And please let us know, because we're going to try even harder next week. Next week, Men's Week. We're going to touch on the men. We're going to have a lady on the panel now. We're going to talk about men's issues. Interesting. But stay tuned.
Take care.
For yourself.